Hey everyone, I'm Zach Hyman of the Edmonton Oilers.
He's so tenacious.
Hope you guys enjoy it.
Revving up his engine, listen to the crowd just roar. No reason for tension, Zach is gonna shoot and score. Hyman's in the scoring zone. Right into the scoring zone. Signed for 7 years, now he's playing by McDavid's side. He's got you jumping out of your seat 'cause of that look in his eyes. Hyman's in the scoring zone. He'll take you right into that scoring zone. You know he's gonna score a few. Playing with Connor, it's a top line overload. You'll finally see what he can do. So raise your hands up as high as they can go.
Back.
He always said that was a magician's secret.
His energy is contagious.
Playing with an edge, that's what you're gonna see. Taking the next step, 'cause he's no longer with the Leafs. Hyman's in the scoring zone. He'll take you right into that scoring zone. Hyman's in the scoring zone.
Yes, he was. Zach Hyman definitely in the scoring zone last night. Matty, can you crank me up just a little bit? Mr. Lean in the house today. We'll get to that around 7:20 this morning. Who saw that coming? 6-1. A win is one thing. But to walk all over him like that, LTE, that's got to have people fired up this morning.
Draisaitl pointless with a -1, hey?
Well, how many shots did he finish with? Yeah, he's dead to me on that. Like, we nailed, we would have had now we hit our lock shop NHL parlay, 5-1.
Bush had the points,
so
right?
that was nice. Well, Bush, we needed 1 Bouchard point, 2 McDavid points, over 5.5, and Draisaitl over 2.5 shots last night. I don't think he got the one until it was like a weak backhander with like 2 minutes and 40 seconds left in the game.
Dude's never had a 6 o'clock or longer in his life, eh?
You're killing us. Like, that's the first thing we come on with today. You're dead to us, Leon Draisaitl. How do you not get 3 shots to cash us a 5-1 parlay over at Coolbet?
So Draisaitl's the Campbell's sweetener now, isn't that it, hey? Maybe
Well, if he's not going to produce, what are you supposed to do with this guy?
Also, I'd like to announce Ryan McLeod officially off the schneid.
Full-blown
Like, I mean, the empty netter, I get it.
Yeah.
But this is now...
Well, what a dream start to this hockey game for the Edmonton Oilers. And it was actually great in the Nielson household because, it was supposed to start at 7:30. Puck drop at 7:48. People must have been raging.
Oh, yeah.
So the puck gets dropped. I let Marshall stay up to watch the first part of the game. And, usually he'll watch the first part of the game and, not much happens or they're down.
Yeah.
And he's all disappointed. When they scored the third goal, he was kind of laying on my side. They scored the third goal, and he's up. He's just like, he was just loving life last night. So it was a nice start, if anything, just for my 8-year-old son who got to watch the first 10 minutes of the hockey game, and he was absolutely loving it last night. But I mean, there's a lot of discussion yesterday about what we would expect from them coming off the 5-day break. And, yesterday in the lock shop was probably the best chance because Huss was like, what do you expect from this game? And I was like, I don't know. Like, I couldn't tell you. I don't know what to expect. So I did not see them coming out and walking all over the Hurricanes, which has to make people pretty darn excited.
I think a lot of us, I think you're forgiven for not really knowing, nor should you, right? I mean, we've seen the good and the bad from this team, but this is another test passed. We did say, what is the break? Is it good? Is it bad? You don't want to quit playing when you're on that 4-game heater. But during that 4-game heater, they won in a multitude of ways. Well, now they've won in another way.
Yeah.
Having that long break, coming back. I mean, what break? Who needs a goaltender now? Hey, Carolina? Like, it's just, this is another
Carolina
test. Carolina
definitely needs goaltenders.
Yeah, well, yeah, but I mean, you've had some time off. Okay, how does that affect them? No. They passed 6-1. I mean, 4 goals in the first. Where's that coming? As somebody said, it's almost the anti-Marshall. Somebody in the nasty chat, kind of second and third, hoping for a goal bonanza, and then it just kind of tails off, like that type of thing. But taking care of business, again, that's nice to see. And what a way to kick off a 6-game homestand. Undefeated in the 6 o'clock or logger era.
Did somebody just come in? Did you hear something? Matt, are you making coffee over there? Is that the beans moving around? I swear to God, I heard something.
Swear to God.
Weird. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back.
How can you not say that they're back on track now? Like, if you hadn't bought in on the 4-game winning streak, the 5 days off, I'm sure many of you, if you were still hesitant or still were like, yeah, they got to get back in playoff spot before I can say they're back. I'm sure last night, coming off the layoff and doing what they did to Carolina has to be enough. Right? Does that not have to be enough to be like, okay, yeah, this team is back
Got my vote.
to where we thought they should be at the beginning of the season? Your thoughts on all of it to the Paris Jewelers inbox, 780-218-9999. If you're looking for a little something for Christmas, why don't go see our friends at Old PJ's, Paris Jewelers. Local family-owned business, started in Edmonton, now has 22 stores across this country. Unbelievable. Thinking of a holiday proposal? Paris Jewelers. Great selection of engagement rings, including those lab-created engagement rings, starting at $34.99. You propose now, and you pay later with flexible financing options. Do not pay for one. I'm sure there were a few guys thinking about proposing end of the first period last night. They got the game, just being like, you know what, this is it. It's
a good time. Keep it on you, right? Yeah.
It's a great night. I'm going to ask her to marry me right here, and I'm going to pay Hunter the Lynx $200 to come and join us.
Brass band play.
I still haven't been able to get over
that. Really rocked you,
that.
eh?
Yeah, the paying $200 to have UP come to your seat and be like, "Hey, what's up?" I don't care. You're not paying $200 for a mascot to pop by your location in the stadium. I think that's absolutely bogus. Bogus, I tell you. You could end up winning a text of the day for A&W. I've got a fun little game we'll play today that can help you get in the mix on text of the day as well.
Head coach Mike Sullivan's in.
Oh, good.
Coming after that text of the day in picture form, I guess, in quote form.
Good. Give me that Mike Sullivan quote.
Yeah, sure. I just thought we played smart, Coach Mike Sullivan said. We had a little bit more structure in the defensive zone. Just our play without the puck was a little bit more conscientious.
That's always a tough word. Conscientious.
Conscientious.
You say it too many times, it's going to start sounding weird to you. Right? You don't want to do that. I see you.
Give the coach conch.
That's for you, head coach Mike Sullivan. Text of the day for A&W. 2 delicious A&W Mama Burgers for only $9.99 for the entire month of December. We're talking grass-fed beef patty topped with pickles, onions, ketchup, mustard, and teen sauce, all in a toasted sesame seed bun. Saw Tube Socks already sliding in to the Paris Jewelers inbox today with some A&W breakfast.
Yeah.
He's not messing around, man.
Save some room for those smoked brisket cheesesteaks, Tube Socks. $9.99 tonight, Centric Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. And boy, do we have a game. Mitch Trubisky and the Pittsburgh Steelers and your New England Patriots.
That brings us to how I think people could win text of the day today. And once again, join him tonight, because if you're going to watch this game, you might as well do it with Lieutenant Eric and his merry men of the casino, right?
Misery loves company. We also got in-season tournament semifinals action, which might just take the cake tonight, right? I mean, let's be honest, semifinals, in-season tournament.
LeBron,
let's pack the place.
AD, Austin Reeves, Rui Hachimura,
Halliburton
going up against Zion, CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram, they call him B.I., so it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one tonight. Yes.
And the ponies, as usual. And the Greyhounds are always around the corner. So lots of stuff to pick through tonight.
And it's a casino.
And it's that's just it.
That's great news. Let Eric know if you're going to be rolling in here. Quickly on the NBA last night, Luka had 29, 10, and 10 at the half. Like that, I would say, what do we say? 90% of players in their NBA career don't drop 29, 10, and 10 in a game. And Luka did it in a half yesterday. His team, I think, it's 74 points at the half. And he was 29, 10, and 10 which is just unbelievable stuff. First player ever to have a 25-point triple-double in the first half of an NBA game. This is like McDavid having 6 points midway through the second period. Like it's just insane. Anyway, to tie into the football game tonight, we might not even set this up with Ian Rap. We would completely ignore the Thursday nighter with Rap Sheet. Anyway, I'd rather watch blank than the Steelers and Patriots tonight. We can have some fun with this. 780-218-9999. 780-218-9999. Or in the nasty chat today, I'd rather watch blank
Buccaneers and Falcons.
than the Steelers and
Panthers and
Patriots.
Saints. I mean, we can go up and down week 14. And
Browns and Jags with their backup quarterbacks.
Broncos, Chargers. Well, I guess Denver's now in the hunt. I mean, they're a serious
Denver's lurking
wild
around.
card contender. So,
But
spoke too
this
soon.
is how you can get in for text of the day, too,
Yeah,
for sure. Get
easy.
super creative with it.
Easy.
I'd rather watch blank than the Steelers and Patriots tonight.
Vikings, Raiders.
And save your I'd rather watch in-season tournament semifinal action.
But you would.
But you would tonight.
You would.
Yeah.
It's the semifinals right a lot.
It's a huge...
Mitch Trubisky. Give me a break.
the NBA did extremely well by looking at the NFL schedule and going, hey, you know what? Let's put the semifinals on the Thursday that the Steelers are playing the Patriots. That would go over very well. Chato, the hiker, is in and says, I'd rather watch the Flames and Hurricanes tonight.
Hey.
All right. Caper Boy's also in the nasty chat there and says the Canes were brutal last night. And
Stahl spoke so much after the game. I mean, we thought they were going to be pissed off after the loss to Winnipeg. Right? Like, they're going to come in here. They were stifled, goalied by
they were
Laurent Brossoit.
they were shell shocked so early that they just never really. They never. And I know they ended up getting lots of shots on Stuart Skinner, but they never really seemed to get their footing in this hockey.
That's almost like the reverse game in Carolina.
Exactly. It was almost identical. It was 4-0 the first period. But I don't think you just go, the Canes were just brutal. I think the Oilers dictated that in the first few minutes of this hockey game. Like the tone of the game was set. And we'll get into your morning after show in a second. I'm going to lay out the show and stuff, so we'll get into that in a second. We're going to hear from Knobloch for sure, possibly Fogel as well, because I thought he said something very interesting last night that goes back to last month right here on this show that we'll get into. But I just thought that first play set the tone. I mean, Slavin goes back for it. He's their best defender. Fogel, as they say in the business, was on his horse. He was on his horse, and he gets in. Stick lift, take the puck away from Carolina's stalwart defensively, and they throw it out front to Ryan McLeod. And if you're wondering if Ryan McLeod got going again, great opportunity for him in front, and he buries it. It was just like the tone was set there. The Oilers were going to win battles last night. So I don't want to just put it all on Edmonton playing a great game, but I thought they played a great game last night. Could Carolina have been better? Sure. But I don't view last night's game as like, Carolina just sucked last night and the Oilers took advantage of it. I looked at last night's game as the Oilers dictated things last night and went out and won that game in extremely impressive fashion. But as you know, Eric, I've always been a glass half full guy.
Look at you, eh?
Right? Is there a bigger homer in this city than yours truly?
Hey, how's your back feeling from carrying all that water?
Oh, God.
Yeah, sore back?
The entire time, right?
Carolina's a good team, and they beat them. And good teams have off nights, but you still got to beat them. I mean, they beat them. So
Carolina has to address this goaltending thing for sure.
Well, that would be something.
You cannot sit and I guess it's I would guess this would be Hurricanes fans hearing a guy from Edmonton say the Hurricanes need to address their goaltending.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Because we've sat here for the last 2 months, talking about similar sort of situations here in Edmonton. But the Carolina Hurricanes can't be taken seriously as a contender with the goaltenders that they're seriously rolling out there. And if people want to have that same conversation about Stuart Skinner and the Oilers, that's fine.
It's a Spider-Man meme.
This is not
We're Spider-Manning each other.
But I don't want to be Spider-Man meme.
Well.
It's just like, but they have a goaltending issue. There's no doubt about that one. C.M. says, I'd rather watch curling than the Steelers and Patriots tonight. Come on now.
Come on.
Why the shade on the curling? Curling's a very TV-friendly sport, in my opinion.
It is, actually.
Right?
Camera angles and everything. You get a good view of everything. It's the strategy. It's not as... you don't get the full body contact, I guess, that you do in hockey.
Yet.
Some may argue that
Let's
maybe
see where
curling
it
might get a
goes.
little more physical than hockey if trends continue the way they are, hey?
Guys, I'd rather watch Draisaitl in that Carolina game than the Steelers and Patriots. Like today's a weird day to pick on anybody. Was Draisaitl great last night? No, it wasn't great last night. I know I was watching the post-game show last night. Thanks to everybody who tuned in to check out Tommy and Cass last night. We got to talk to Tommy about. We got to get him a little bored at his house because like Cass was at his house last night doing the show from like just outside Tommy's office, where if they could just both sit at the desk.
They were both at Tommy's place.
They were both at Tommy's place.
I love it.
And Tommy was picking up through Cass's mic for a bit. There was like a slight echo, only for a couple minutes. And then they got it sorted out. But I'm texting with YouTube Trevor. I'm like, wait a second. Is Cass at Tommy's house? And he's like, yeah. I said, well, why aren't they on like a 2-shot? And I think it's because we don't have a little board for Tommy. So we got a little board. So they can just sit next to each other and do the post-game show as opposed to like Cass is sitting where Maddie's sitting and I'm sitting where I'm sitting. And like we're talking to each other, but not looking at it. It was funny.
One of Cassian's kids bust into Tommy's room too. Like
he's got the whole family over there and everything. It was great. Guys, I'd rather watch another Brindamore meltdown than the Steelers versus Patriots. Brindamore was great. Old Panger, hey Panger in there. And Brindamore was like mid-game say, well, we're on pace to lose like 50-0.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever seen this. It's not his exact quote, but he basically said, I don't think I've ever seen our team play this bad. So I guess that comes back around to the nasty chat where the guy's like, well, the Hurricanes weren't good last night. But I think that was dictated by the Edmonton Oilers. But yeah, man, it was something else seeing Rod Brindamore mid-game just basically lose it. It was kind of funny.
Shout out to Pang though. I'm glad you kind of.
Well, it was nice seeing Panger there. Norman at Combine says, I would rather watch the empty shelves of the 6 o'clocker lager than the Steelers and Patriots tonight. That's a really good one. I like that one. That gets you in the mix. That gets you in the mix for Texas of the day right there. Norman at Combine just standing there at Sobeys and Safeway Liquor, staring at another empty shelf and being like, man.
Well, at least you feel something, right? Frustration, I guess.
Yeah. There's at least some emotion.
At least there's a
there.
feeling there.
You're not going to have any feeling with the Steelers and Patriots tonight? Come on. 780-218-9999.
I have to read this. I'd rather watch the Memphis Mad Dogs fumble away another championship than Steelers Patriots. Comes in from Kid Thunder.
Ooh. Jeez. Dude, that's an uncalled for
from my
shot
heart
today.
Well, I mean,
that's not even a stab in the back.
When we're doing Dunyas instead of the Steelers Patriots, I do. There is an appreciation there. I do feel something, although it is pain.
That's coming right up to you, looking at you, and just stabbing you straight in the heart.
But I gotta take it. I gotta take it. Good on you, Kid Thunder.
Guys, I'd rather watch a day in the life of Jack Edwards.
There's a lot of Jack Edwards
commentated by Jack Edwards. Oh,
that's the bar. Hey,
that's a good one too, man. I knew that. Like last night, I was sitting there, I'm prepping, watching the post game show, and I'm like, man, what can we do with this Steelers Patriots game? And I was like, I know, text contest. Yeah, the total in this game is set at 30.5.
Yeah. Over on the cheesesteaks, under on the score. That's what I'll say. That's the play tonight. That's your EST parlay.
I would not be surprised if you sell more cheesesteaks tonight than there are total points in this football game. Because people love the cheesesteaks.
Easily the prime rib in the restaurant.
Yeah.
Like that's easily the over.
I'd rather watch a Wannick attempt to babysit Russian spa kid than the Steelers and Patriots tonight.
Deep. Do people even know about that thing? Like that's not even a public story yet. I
think I mentioned that briefly yesterday.
Yeah. I love that poll.
Who did we say we're going to take YouTube Trevor Tommy out, then drop him off down there?
10 minutes, yeah. Why not?
That would kind of be fun too. I like that one. 780-218-9999. And yeah, we'll get to more of your text messages. That could be how you get in on the text of the day as well. Guys, I'd rather watch people drive Henday than watch the Steelers and Patriots. I went in from Red today. How about this? This is an interesting one. I don't know if you saw this. This is in from Corey today. Good morning, gents. Can I get a 100-year conch in celebration of my wife and I being some of the very few people who have the distinction of being in attendance for all 3 of Zach Hyman's career hat tricks?
Wow.
The first one in Nashville last year, his second in Seattle this year, and again last night. dare I say, a hat trick of hat tricks. In fact, he stopped and graciously took a photo with me on his way to the game in Nashville prior to that, and he sends us the photo. We can definitely throw back the old conch for that one. That's nice. What are the odds of that? I mean, unless they go to every single game.
Well,
We don't know. We haven't confirmed that they don't go to every single game.
and the old conch is 3 toots. And the hat trick is 3
toots.
goals, and this was 3 hat tricks. This
A
is
hat trick.
It's a 3 of a 3 of a 3.
A hat trick conch.
Yeah.
I like that. Chris Attaway. I'd rather watch Tommy Gazzola brainstorm for an Edmonton Sports Talk draft than the Steelers and Patriots tonight. I'd rather watch wedding videos from my first 2 marriages. Oh, man.
Confession segment here.
Not going to be moving the needle with the Steelers and Patriots tonight. I wonder if that guy actually, if that's like true, like 2 marriages. He'd rather sit down and watch the wedding videos from them.
Both, full length.
Yeah, it's
No
the entire
commercials.
thing.
At least you get commercials in this football game.
It's 3 hours.
Reprieve.
It's the reception. It's everything. Guys, I'd rather wait for a Ken Holland draft pick to cash in than watch the. I love how you
Damned
still
for
have-
eternity.
Oh God, I love Edmonton. I love our Edmonton Sports Talk supporters. But like the Oilers win 6-1 last night. We're having some fun text messages along the way, and there's still guy who's angry with Oilers drafting, who's texting in, which I get. I mean, they've not drafted well, but I do appreciate you popping up on a day like this.
The drive for perfection. We're not there yet.
Nope, not
Not even
yet.
close. The mother-in-law texts flying in.
Oh, how about this? This is a good text, too. Oh, my goodness. This is from the General. Boys, I don't know if I need a conch or what. First date last night. Casual hangout with no expectations sexually or otherwise. First thing she says is, Oilers play tonight. Why don't we watch that? 6-1 victory. I was so hard I almost fainted. We're so effing back.
I'm back, baby!
Oh, my God, man. That's
That's congratulations. You're part of this streak now, right?
Yeah.
Like, that's all involved. We're all kind of
that's-
jumping on the train, and
General, dude. You are that's a classic. Congratulations on obviously what was a great night. A great night for the General. Man. Yeah, we salute you, General. We salute you. If you're listening on TuneIn, of course, you can text us at 780-218-9999. If you're watching on YouTube, you can chime in. Joe Balaneski says, marry her.
Paris Jewelers today. I mean,
Go see our
hit up old
friends.
PJ and you take care of this.
Go see our friends at PJ's, and they'll look after you. Paris Jewelers.
Tell them the story.
I like you to go to the Paris Jewelers. I'm gonna have to check with Matt if he likes us calling it PJs. I just feel like it's so casual.
It's a short.
Go to PJs in the mall, Paris Jewelers, and then go and tell Santa about the text that you just sent us. Right? Adults can go sit on Santa's knee and chat with him. Yeah. So just go and say, you'll never believe what you know what I want? I want a second date. Because here's how the first one went. Yeah. Ho, 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 a lucky boy. I think that would be pretty good.
Oil City Dynasty says text of the day goes to the General.
Yeah, the General. We are gonna have a lot of good text messages today with this Patriots Steelers bit, but General might have slid in there. And you know what? Maybe he takes her to A&W for the next date. Who knows? I'll take you out for a couple of romantic mama burgers, right? All right, let's lay out the show for you here today. We're going to have a sports update coming up here for Green Plan. After that, we'll get to your morning after show around 6:30. We will have Lieutenant Eric's second day of his 12 days of Christmas. That is coming up. Excited for that. That'll be like around 6:40, 6:45 today. Luke Gazdic's going to pop by just after 7 o'clock this morning. We'll get his thoughts on the Oilers getting by the Canes in impressive fashion. They got to be back. And we'll also see how Luke divvies up the credit for the turnaround. because everybody seems to be just giving all the credit to Paul Coffey right now. Like, not the players. Poor Chris Knobloch. It's like he doesn't even exist.
He's the head coach.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean,
he's the guy.
You start at the top and then work your way down.
So we'll get into that a little bit. Minnesota is up next for the Oilers. They've won 4 in a row. They played the Canucks tonight and then fly in. So we'll get Luke's thoughts on the turnaround in Minnesota, the new coach bump and things like that.
It's still bumping.
Cool Bet hotline of the day with a special Mr. Lean appearance. We did hit the Cool Bet hotline yesterday. It was Connor McDavid over 1.5 points because they're still giving it to us at plus money, which isn't going to last for that much longer. As I said, we hit our lock shot partner parlay yesterday too, but Leon Draisaitl not getting 3 shots in that hockey game ruined like a perfect day for Edmonton Sports Talk over at Cool Bet. So, boo.
How about this, too, after last night? The Hurricanes and the Oilers now both at 0 goal differential following last night. I don't know. The numerology.
What are
We had
the
the
odds
hat
of
trick thing with the conch. And, yeah,
With so many, expected goals
buy a lottery
for and
ticket,
stuff,
I don't know, yeah.
7:30 today, I got beef. What do you have beef with? You can text us at 780-218-9999 or hit us up in the nasty chat as well. You got some beefs today? I got 3
There's
beefs.
always beef, yeah.
I don't know what happened last night. I was sitting around. It was late. I was doing this at 11:10. And I don't know. I just in I got beef mood. I just laid out a bunch of beefs.
Corey, the butcher, Acme
Yeah.
Meats, brings us the beef, brings us the jerky. It's hot,
We got show
teriyaki,
meat.
normal. Like, if you were to grade your beef for today, is it teriyaki? Is it a hot, spicy? Is it just a regular beef jerky? Like, is it
let me see my beefs again here.
Because sometimes, you've always got beef, but to what degree? Is it like a lean ground beef, or are you talking about like a Wagyu,
Yeah,
triple A?
I'm looking at
a little spice?
I'm looking like bacon,
Oh,
but it's not like perfectly done bacon, but it's still bacon.
The
So
streaky
you're
stuff?
still
Yeah,
gonna
yeah,
eat
yeah.
bacon, but it's not bacon exactly the way I like it, and I like it not well. Like my wife likes it really crispy.
Oh, yeah.
Like hard,
Doorstop
right?
hard,
Like
yeah.
And I'm like, I think I'd be your pretty average bacon guy. Like I like it a little
Medium
crispy,
rare, yeah.
little crispy, not crazy crispy, but a good crisp on 50% of it. So yeah, my takes are like a good slice of bacon, but not a great slice of bacon.
But if you don't get your bacon done right, you have beef with the bacon.
Well, yeah.
And you will have beef.
You know,
with
I do hate going to a place where they're it's still mooing, or it's still not mooing. It's
Still sizzling a bit.
It's
The fat's still
oinking.
kinda-
It's still oinking. And you're like, oh man, come on now. So anyway, we'll get into that a little bit. Ian Rapaport's going to join us. Rap sheet. We got to get to the bottom of it. CJ Beathard
Beatard.
is dealing with an injury right now. Now, he is such a warrior that they say he's going to probably push through it and play. But Nathan Rourke is this close to getting regular season snaps with the Jacksonville Jaguars. And once the Jags realize CJ Beathard only wants to throw to his tight end 4 yards down the field and they're in trouble against the Browns, I could see him being replaced by Nathan Rourke, who will actually try to come in and move the ball down the field. So
Time's ticking.
it's that close. Yeah. We'll get into it with Ian Rapaport when he pops by. Football conversation will kind of continue in hour number 3 as well. We'll have kind of easy trivia. 3 questions too many. And Dave Naylor is going to pop by. Lots of news around the Canadian Football League this week.
Yeah,
we haven't even chatted with Naylor since the Riders made their decision, so we'll get into that. The Ticats, Ed Hervey's a general manager in the league again. Willie Jefferson staying in Winnipeg. I think we're going to get some schedule releases here in the near future. We'll talk about the Rourke brothers with
Touchdown
Naylor
Pacific.
as well. Touchdown, yeah, I guess we can get in Touchdown Pacific. That'll be in Victoria. That looks like a pretty good time as well. So we got a pretty jam-packed show for you today. Of course, it'll be highlighted by day number 2 of Lieutenant Eric's 12 Days of Christmas, which is about 20 minutes away. Grandpa Dave says it's going to be great to listen to Al Michaels melt down during this Thursday night
Yeah,
game.
I mean, that's another bonus, an added bonus to this one.
As far as actual things that you might enjoy during the game tonight, with the exception of a huge Freiermuth night for fantasy,
yeah, okay, yeah.
Which I'm not expecting. Al Michaels melting down with just how bad this football game is going to be quite the drug. Very much look forward to that.
The sauce says, I like my bacon like I like my general, hard and sticking straight out. So we are, that's a 6 o'clocker text if I've ever seen one, eh? That's a text sandwich right there. I love it.
Joel from Bondi says, can I get a conch finishing off 16 straight night shifts And thank you guys for keeping me up on the drives home. He's probably listening on TuneIn or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com. We got a conch for you, my man. I also want to say this to everybody who works these like 16 straight night shifts. I don't know how you do it. All the praise in the world. And, I work a lot. But 16 straight night shifts? You're an animal. You're an animal.
You worked like 16 straight weekends during the,
I work weekends for 5.5 months while also still working during the week. But it's not 16 straight night shifts.
Did you do nights at the grocery? Was that a thing?
Oh, yeah.
Okay,
I
I didn't know, yeah.
I was lead hand on night shift at the age of 18.
So what's your hours running
I was
like
a
there?
grocery store prodigy.
You start at close, like 11? What are we talking, 11 p?
No,
midnight?
we do midnights.
Midnight
we do 12 to 8:30.
But going home when those guys are coming in to open the store, that's
There is something sweet, especially in the summer. Like everybody else is coming in to start your day, and you've like already the store looks brilliant because you've got it set up for them at night, and you're walking out into the sunshine. You got your whole day, and I go home and sleep usually.
I'd be on the old 4 to 8.
The 4 to 8.
4 a.m. to 8 a.m.
Really?
Come and open, just open it up, and then you're whistling away, walking out. Day's beautiful. You got it all in front of you.
At the Save-On over by Cook County there, the Strathcona Save-On, I worked there, and that was my I did like 5 to 9:30s in produce, and it's just like you unload the truck, throw it in the cooler, take out a couple of carts, boom, 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 boom. Make sure everything looks good. Yeah. You're out of there.
Say good morning to everybody, and
I'd be going back to I lived on my sad story, but I lived on my sister's couch when I was working at that Save-On. But it was a hide-a-bed, so I could pull it out. So she'd be at University of Alberta. I'd get home. I'd open it up. I swear to God, probably for like 6 months, all I did all day was watch CSI. It was amazing. And then I'd go shoot football games for ICU Video at night. It was a fun little setup. I must have watched every single episode of every single CSI during that stretch when I was like, I don't know, 24 maybe. Yeah, that's fun. All right, we've got the morning after show coming up, but let's get to a sports update right now with Lieutenant Eric, brought to you by Green Plan. Here we go.
Edmonton Oilers with 4 first-period goals on the way to a 6-1 win over the Hurricanes to kickstart a 6-game homestand. Zach Hyman with a hat trick. Matthias Janmark and Connor McDavid each with 3 assists. Stuart Skinner stopping 39 of 40 shots faced. The Oilers look to make it 6 straight wins tomorrow night against the Wild. 13 games around the NHL tonight. Other action last night saw Tampa defeat Pittsburgh 3-1. Panthers beating the Stars 5-4, and Vegas doubling up St. Louis 6-3. Join me tonight at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge for Week 14 in the NFL when the Steelers host the Patriots. $9.99 smoked brisket cheesesteaks on special, as well as a free square board with prizes on the line. New York Yankees acquiring Juan Soto last night, as the outfielder was rumored to be joining the Blue Jays earlier in the week. And NBA Heat bouncing the Raptors 112-103 last night. Semifinals of the in-season tournament will tip off later this afternoon and tonight. Bucks and Pacers 3 o'clock today. Lakers entertaining the Pelicans later on this evening. Sports update brought to you by Green Plan, providing you with award-winning environmental planning and consulting services, whether it's municipal, industrial, or residential. Plan it right with Green Plan. Visit green-plan.com or give them a call, 780-455-4292.
Check-in, come on, let's go. It's the AM Nasty Big Hello. It's the Static AM Radio. It's the Cool Band Red Hot Nielson Show. Let's go. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. intros are cutting like a knife. Hey, it's Mitch texting in. He's your dealer for life. Let's crack at 6 o'clock and log in with some sirloin bites.
Feliz Navidad, Daddy Likes.
That's
a Christmas. It's a Christmas special from John T and Victoria. In case you missed it on the show yesterday, you can text us anytime 780-218-9999. We got a special little treat coming up for AM Nasties from Pro-Am Sports. It's a special AM Nasty exclusive.
Christmas miracle, if you will.
Well, I mean, I don't want to use the term Christmas miracle too lightly, but yes, it is. And we're going to get to that coming up just after 7 o'clock today. Gazdic's going to pop by. We'll give you some good details on this. And it's just for you. It's just for you. Don't tell anybody. So we'll get to that. All right, let's get into your morning after show today. Brought to you by EM Utility Locating, GPR and concrete scanning, damage prevention, planning, design, education, and training. Saw Matt from EM Utility Locating in the Nasty Chat on the post-game show.
Nice.
Last night. So, yeah, he was fired up after the very impressive win. Very impressive win. So if you're doing anything that requires anything below the surface, you got to check them out, emutilitylocating.com. We'll get to the steady Eddie of the evening because you need a steady Eddie approach so things are safe with EM Utility Locating. EST, big moment that happened in that game last night. Rick, what are you going with?
I'm going to go with the McLeod goal. As I said, I've officially christened him off the schneid this morning with that goal. I know it's an empty netter in the last game, but whatever. This was something, and again, you mentioned getting to them, fast and early and kind of breaking the Hurricanes before the game starts. You're 4-0 after the first. I mean, hell, you could take the first period as the moment, but I'll go with the McLeod goal, not even a minute in, setting the tone, I guess, as you would for the rest of the night.
I got to do this. I'm sorry.
McLeod goal song?
No. Well, I mean, no, but I forgot this. This is one of the best parts of the morning after show.
There's something happening here. The Oilers look a lot better this year. Another win, put 2 points on the board. Telling me your faith is restored. I think it's time you stop. Listen, here we go. Wake up with the morning after show. This year's team's looking strong. Connor and Leon, they can't do no wrong. 6 o'clockers are losing their minds. Getting so many messages on the text line. Think it's time you stop. Listen, here we go. Wake up with the morning after show.
Woo-wee. Yes. Something's happening here. They've won 5 in a row. That's good. You know what? I did say that the tone was basically set with Fogle going in, taking that puck away from Slavin, and making the play out front to McLeod. So I do like your EST big moment that happened. I'll go with the Hyman goal at 5:46 of the first to go up 3-0. And be honest with me, I know many of you were watching being like, well, 2-0.
It's the most dangerous lead to hold in sports, yeah.
Imagine having the most dangerous lead in all of hockey less than a minute in. That's the last thing you want. Do you realize how dangerous that is for the next 59 minutes?
So you could argue Carolina at that point is playing with them. But then you get the third.
Yeah. Then you get the Hyman goal, and things are off and running. Hyman's 13th of the year. He'd also get his 14th of the year. And wait for it, he'd also get his 15th of the year. So I'll say Zach Hyman's first goal of the night being my EST big moment that happened. Super stat of the game. Rick, what's Jamso for you?
You could pick a couple of numbers jumping off the page right now. You mentioned Zach Hyman with the hat trick, his hat trick of hat tricks, I guess you could say. A couple of hat tricks of assists. Connor McDavid, it's old hat. I know he's getting healthier and everything, and we're expecting, but now he's getting back to 3-point night, whatever, But Matthias Janmark, man, that's 3 assists. Hello, But the super stat has to go net. I can't ignore the 975.
975! 975! 975!
Because we've been talking about it. So 39 of 40 in a game where we were talking about the expected goals and expected this and that. So, you can argue as we do every day. Are the shots high? I don't care. 975 looks good on you, Stuart Skinner. And again, with all the talk being about having to, and maybe this will pop up again. It's one game, but good for him to kick off a homestand in this fashion.
In no way am I going to take any credit away from Stuart Skinner stopping 39 of 40 right now. That's not what this is. I've been relatively supportive of their goaltenders all along. I think let's be honest. The team sucked defensively for the first 6 weeks of the season. Skinner was hung out to dry pretty much the entire time. They're starting to tighten things up now very much, and Skinner's able to play well behind a team that knows how to properly defend. This isn't shade at Skinner, but this is credit to everybody else because there were very few second chances last night. And a lot of the shots that came through, he saw. They were good, clean looks, and Skinner stopped them.
He played good.
Yeah,
he played
look at the one goal that they scored on. He didn't really have a chance on that. So Skinner was excellent last night, but I thought the type of 40 shots that he faced were well executed by the Oilers in that it wasn't messy around the net. It wasn't a bunch of, grade A tap-ins. They played extremely well. They played extremely well last night, including their goaltender, Stuart Skinner. 3 stars of the game last night. Obviously, Zach Hyman with the game he had ended up being your first star with 3 goals. Matthias Janmark with 3 assists, your second star. And Warren Foegele with a goal and an assist, the third star of the game. Lots of options here for actually fourth star of the game. Who are you going to go with?
I don't know. You take your pick, McDavid. I guess you could throw Stewart in there. I'm not going to after what you just said. Maybe 6 star.
He was still was excellent.
I get it. But no, but that's it. He's good.
Yeah.
In the past when the defense was garbage, if you had a great goalie in there to steal you a few points every once in a while, that would have been great. But yes, he's good. And when people in front of him are playing well, that just increases his goodness. But I'll go with McDavid again. Where's the stat here? First 18 games, 5 wins, McDavid 16 points. Last 5 games, 5 wins, McDavid 16 points. He's turning on. He's going. And again, it's 3 assists, big point night. We shouldn't be that unexpected, I guess, but it has been throughout the early part of the season. 3 points. Connor McDavid, the captain. Let's go.
38 star of the game. I got to go with the goalie who gets yanked after allowing 3 goals on 6 shots. Kochetkov, you're the 38 star of the game. Not that I'm hanging it on him necessarily, but tough look to start the game last night. Finishes with a save percentage of .500. Kind of got to be it. Also, honorable mention to your boy, Michael Bunting. -3 last night.
Who I mentioned in Tales of the North.
You
the rack.
You did mention in Tales of the North.
Hark the Herald Angels sing to the rack for Michael Bunting, I believe is the...
Let's get to your steady Eddie of the evening, and then we'll hear some post-game reaction from last night as well. Steady Eddie of the evening, of course, brought to you by EM Utility Locating. Visit them at emutilitylocating.com. In a night like last night, there are many places you can go for the steady Eddie of the evening, with the exception of the Draisaitl Kane Brown line, which ended up being -1 on the game. I'm going to do this. He led the blue line in ice time. He had a couple of assists. There was a play defensively where he lost his stick, and he still played it relatively well. I thought it was an excellent two-way game from Evan Bouchard last night. So let's make Evan Bouchard your steady Eddie of the evening. You know he's always going to be great offensively, and he is. But there have been some warts defensively in his game. But I thought last night was one of Bouchard's best overall games of the season. Correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe you saw something else. But I really liked Bouchard's game last night. And let's go. Steady Ed of the evening for EM Utility Locating.
Fogel the painter, and I do believe Hyman the plunger.
Hyman had the plunger.
Hyman had the plunger.
How, like, Fogel
looks good with the beret. I'll say that.
Does he?
It's a good fit. More so than somebody. And then Janmark's just in there.
I know it wasn't a defenseman that Fogel had that jump around,
Yeah.
but when he cut that puck to the right and then exploded like a rocket out of a cannon, or whatever comes a cannonball out of a cannon, I guess, because you wouldn't launch a rocket from a
Missile out of a silo.
Anyway, he blew up. He took off, and then it was pretty much a classic Fogel finish where he shot it into the goalie's pad but pushed it through with like a little bit of a second effort and buried it. But his burst at the blue line was
This was one of those McDavid mistaken things again. You're saying, I knew where you were going.
Tell me not for 1 second when he made that first cut and got past, I think it was Cockney.
Is that a 7 on
Tell
the
me
shirt?
you didn't. Tell me you saw this and you weren't like, oh, it's Connor. Wait, it's Fogel. I bet you that happened.
Yeah.
I bet you that happened.
Every time.
Well, I mean, it was impressive. Yeah. It was pretty darn impressive. There's no doubt about that. All right, let's get to some post game here. Let's go. What do we got? Hyman. We got Fogel. We got Knobloch. How long's Knobloch, Matty? What do we got for Knobloch? Well, we definitely don't need that much. Let's go Fogel. I want to hear what Fogel had to say last night. I think there's an interesting point here from Warren Fogel last night. It's something that we talked about earlier with this team when they were struggling. Let's hear what Fogel had to say.
You know, some trust in you guys to do that, and you end up scoring. What does that mean to you to do that?
Yeah, it's huge. It's kind of what you said, trust. You know, when you get that trust, you don't want to let it go, right? So for us, our line, we knew to have a good start, and you know, I find when we do start, we usually, you know, are always in the ozone or something like that. So it was kind of nice to, you know, keep that going.
You played like a team tonight that wanted to leave zero doubt that what happened before was real, and you were going to be able to pick up where you left off. Is that fair?
Yeah, I thought it was a real mature effort tonight. You know, we pot 2 goals quick, and then we stayed with it. You know, we weren't cheating for offense after that lead, and you know, just solid checking by the whole team. And you know, to win this league, you gotta, you know, hold leads, and it was nice that we did that.
Seemed like the complete opposite game than the one in Raleigh a couple weeks ago. What has changed for this team?
I think we're just playing simple. You know, we're getting pucks behind their D, taking it to the net. You know, we're communicating out there. You know, it's nice to, you know, keep this streak going, and you know, hopefully we can continue that.
What did you like about Matthias Janmark on your line tonight?
Yeah, super smart player. You know, I don't think he gets enough credit here. You know, his details are, they're sharp. You know, so you definitely notice that. You know, all the guys notice that, but when you play with him, you notice those details, and you know, there's a massive block there. You know, it's 4-0 game, and those are details that I'm talking about. You know, that helps us win games, and huge play by him.
Good relief for you to bury one on a breakaway.
Yeah, I've had a couple this year, so it was nice to get one, and you know, hopefully more to come.
What do you think about Stewart's tonight?
Solid, just super composed. You know, when we had that lead, they were pressing us a bit there, and you know, I thought he was real calm back there, and you know, when he's calm, you know, all of us notice that, and you know, we just keep staying to the same script.
Boom. There we go. That is Warren Fogel. I think Warren Fogel actually gives like really well thought out answers. You know what I mean? And maybe it's because he doesn't have to do like a ton of media, so it's like, but
speaks clear pretty well.
But the one thing he said in there is kind of what I wanted to get to, and that was, he said it was a mature victory last night. And in early November, when we were breaking down the struggles of this team, you watch them play, and I said it on this show, they need to grow up. Like, things weren't going their way. They're pouting on the ice. They're giving up in certain situations. They just looked like an immature hockey team. They're taking stupid penalties because they were frustrated. And obviously, they had no idea what was going on defending off the rush. So I love seeing Fogel last night say that this was a mature win, because that's what we said a month ago. This team needs to grow up, they need to mature, and they need to win hockey games in the fashion that they've won these hockey games in. Like, last night, I mean, McDavid had some brilliant moments, and I know they scored 6, but I thought it was just like a good hard-working hockey game last night where they used a lot of effort to create opportunities for themselves. And then once they got the lead, they handled it extremely well. So I loved hearing Fogle last night say that it was mature effort. I thought that was good to see from Fogle last night. That is your morning after show for EM Utility Locating, GPR and concrete scanning, damage prevention, planning, design, education, and training. They went to Rogers Place. They dug down deep, and they found the Edmonton Oilers, and they brought them back. Credit EM Utility Locating for helping get this team back on track, and use them for any project that you've got underground, or you're going to be doing some digging. Matt and his team at EM Utility Locating will take care of you. You can text us anytime, 780-218-9999. H.E. Pennypacker texted in earlier and says, Dusty, you just found a title for a chapter in your autobiography. Chapter 3, Grocery Store Prodigy. That would have to be a chapter. You could easily write a chapter in a book about working at a grocery store.
You do a book.
100%.
You do a series of novels.
And it's the
romance,
entire thing.
mystery.
Yeah. I thought I like that one. I'd rather watch blank than the Steelers and Patriots. We can get into that as well. But you know what I want? I want to add a little Christmas cheer to the show right now. Do you have your second day of Christmas?
I'm ready to go.
All right, let me find our little 12 days here. All right, day number 1.
Gotta say, it's a real rush doing it live. You know, I used to do 20 takes of these before. You get the tone, the pitch, the timing, and everything.
But you don't feel rushed. But it's like an adrenaline rush.
Yeah, that's what it is.
Good.
Yeah. No,
good. I like that. All right, well let's.
Unlike tonight's Steelers Patriots game, where you don't do anything.
Yeah.
I feel something.
It's all downhill from here. All right, here we go. Lieutenant Eric's 12 Days of Christmas, day number 2.
On the first day of Christmas, EST gave to me a black sedan guy being creepy. On the second day of Christmas, EST gave to me 2 Tombstone Tuesdays and a black sedan guy being creepy.
Whoa!
How lewd.
2 Tombstone Tuesdays.
2 Tombstone Tuesdays.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
God, I love it. 2 Tombstone Tuesdays.
See, that timing, I got to get that. I need a metronome in here.
Sedan guy being creepy. That sums it up. I mean, that's the best start. Tombstone Tuesday's been a nice addition to the new
love
show,
it.
man.
I love it.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. Where was it? I don't know if it was last night on the post game or on one of the shows yesterday, but I do like when somebody mixes in a how lewd.
How lewd. Probably one of my favorite quotes from the Tombstone Tuesday. As of yet.
At one
there
point,
are so many.
We'll have to rank the top 10 quotes from Tombstone. But if you're not yet watched it yet, if you're going to be listening to the show moving forward, you should probably watch Tombstone. I was texting with Haji from Sobeys Liquor as he continues to throw numbers our way in the 6 o'clock locker, and it's just ridiculous. Was it yesterday? 2 days ago, I guess. 2 afternoons ago, they tweeted out that spreadsheet of the locations with how many units they had left, and that one place in Sherwood Park had 120. Somebody yesterday afternoon was like, "Hey, I just got the last 2 4-packs from that location in Sherwood Park." It's
there was a mad dash.
This is insane.
Lacombe too. People were because Lacombe. I mean, you could make the case if you're I'll just whip out to Lacombe.
At this point, we might have created the greatest beer of all time with Alley Cat and Sobeys. It's ridiculous how quickly this stuff is moving. I was exchanging texts last night. Well, you know Potsy. He's in our league. So Potsy owns a place out in Fort Sask, and he wants to put it on tap. He tried it last night, and he goes, "So I just opened my first one." And coming from a guy who drinks way too many Bud Light pints a week because I'm not a big all those craft beers guy, this is fantastic. I will sell easily 2 30-liter kegs a week of this stuff. I was like, what?
There's the
Come
challenge.
on, man. So, yeah. He had one, and he's like, I'll be able to sell 60 liters of this a week, which is just it's insane. We don't even have them here. I gave the 2 desk beers to Murray McCourt yesterday because he hadn't tried it yet. And by the way, Murray said he's going to talk to them out of the ranch and see if they can get it on tap of the ranch as well. which would be pretty cool too, to have our beer at essentially like our golf course. Like that would be kind of cool. So hopefully we can make that happen as well. But huge shout out to everybody for making the 6 o'clock lager a massive, massive, massive success, and hopefully a permanent place on the shelves at Sobeys and Safeway.
Rip City Step just on the heels of that texter. I think all your sponsors deserve a conch because without them, there's never an EST watch party to begin turning this season around.
It's a great point. The Edmonton Oilers have not lost since we cracked our first 6 o'clocker lager together. That was the first time all of us tried that beer. And they have not lost since. They've won 5 in a row. During that watch party, they shut out the Washington Capitals. They haven't looked back. 6 o'clock. The only thing hotter than the Oilers right now is the 6 o'clocker lager. And they basically both got things going at the exact same time. So that's nice to see as well. The Georgia Satellite says the 6 o'clocker lager is like Christmas's Turbo Man doll. Hashtag jingle all the way. I mean, it's not far off, man. They're moving whatever they couldn't sell in Calgary or didn't leave up long enough in Calgary because they got to get it back to Edmonton so that people in Edmonton can consume this and finish the full sellout of it prior to the second batch being ready here, hopefully right around Christmas time from our friends at Alley Cat. They got a big meeting, Cam from Alley Cat, on Friday to talk about the future of the 6 o'clocker lager. And basically how that's going to work, I invited him here to the office, and we're going to hold him hostage until he says it's going to be a permanent thing.
Yeah, you guys are just going to get drunk.
I don't want to spoil it, but that's what's going to happen.
Here, sign this. Yeah.
And if he doesn't roll in with some of our bloody beers, I'm going to be very disappointed. Very disappointed. I had people last night tweeting at me being like, Dusty, watching 6 o'clock. I'm watching the game at 6 o'clock lager. I don't even have any.
Yeah, I know.
I got none. We got none. It's kind of ridiculous. Belineski says the 6 o'clocker lager is the 2023 Tickle Me Elmo.
Yeah, that's good.
That tickles.
You're going to be seeing fake ones popping up on the market anytime soon.
Sure.
Eh?
Knockoffs. Just a matter of time. Just a matter of time. Hey, give us a thumbs up. If you've not yet given us a thumbs up today, let's smash 200 today.
Hit that like.
The others are rolling. Let's hit 200 thumbs up today.
Not to brag, but I was the first thumb.
Were you really?
I got in there and I
always
thumbed away.
worry about thumbing ourselves, you know? It's like,
no, it's okay. I think it's a doable. I have 2 accounts. I'll log out, sign into my other account, go in and give it a like as well. Why not, eh? Yeah.
All right, let's get into our advent calendar from Wayne Sports Cards here. Let's see here. What are we on, 7?
7.
I see 8. 7. I see 9. I feel like the romper room person.
Mine was right on the tab.
I see 6, and I see 16. Here it is, number 7. All right, these are the advent calendars from Wayne's. Make plans to get one next year. They got a bunch of other Christmas boxes over there at Wayne Sports Cards right now. Yesterday we opened 2 packs, and we both pulled a Merzilkins, which was interesting. 2023 Series 2. Looking for some young guns. Looking for some young guns today. Or somebody that the others can trade Broberg for.
Which one did you get? 21, 22?
Nope. I got 22, 23 Series 2. Hannafin. Anders Lee. Holy, Evan Bouchard.
Hey,
we
now.
need him.
Put him on the lineup.
Beautiful. We got the whole lineup going over there. Blake Wheeler, Tage Thompson. That'd be a nice deal. Anders Lee and Noah Hannafin. No young gun. World Junior grads, though, Philip Forsberg.
Kachuk Hundo P. Flames.
You know what? I would be honest. I never liked these Hundo P cards. And Kachuk, come on now.
Yeah. Kreider, Anders Lee, Marc-Andre Fleury, Josh Bailey, Artemi Panarin, Anthony Cirelli, and Jordan Binnington.
Broberg for Binnington.
Yeah.
There you go.
There it is.
Done deal. We found it. Worked out.
Day 7 could go to hell.
A conch for everybody joining us here in the 6 o'clock hour. Keep those text messages rolling in here, too. Let's pound that box for Paris Jewelers, 780-218-9999. I would rather watch blank than the Steelers and Patriots tonight. What do you got? Hit us up. 780-218-9999. It could be how you win. Text of the day today. Coming up in hour number 2, Luke Gazdic's going to pop by. Cool Bet Hotline of the day featuring a now rare appearance from Mr. Lean. I got beef coming up here around 7:30 as well, and Ian Rapaport's going to join us to set up another week in the National Football League and find out if there's a chance we see Nathan Rourke here at some point for the Jacksonville Jaguars as they continue their push to the postseason. This will not be Rourke getting into meaningless games. I mean, they got to win these games. There's 2 teams at 7-5 nipping at their heels right now.
I almost
They
like
gotta
going
get
into
that
this
done.
now, hey? Like you've got a bit of a
This is it, man.
runway. Yeah.
With the current state of quarterbacks around the National Football League, if Nathan Rourke could somehow play 2 or 3 games and have success, he'll get himself a significant contract next year. Because this just in, half the backup quarterbacks in the National Football League suck. In fact, like a third of the starters in the NFL suck. So there's a way, there's a route here to more Nathan Rourke in the National Football League. Let's get to a sports rewind with Lieutenant Eric. Luke Gazdic coming up on the other side.
Zach Hyman with the hat trick. Matthias Janmark and Connor McDavid each with 3 assists as the Oilers with 4 first-period goals defeat the Hurricanes 6-1, kick-starting a 6-game homestand. Stuart Skinner stopping 39 of 40 shots faced. Oilers look to make it 6 straight wins tomorrow night against the Wild. 13 games around the NHL this evening. Just 3 others last night. Vegas doubling up St. Louis 6-3. Florida over Dallas 5-4. And Tampa defeat Pittsburgh 3-1. Join me tonight at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge for the kickoff of Week 14 in the NFL. It's the Steelers hosting the Patriots. Also, $9.99 smoked brisket cheesesteaks on special, as well as a free square board with prizes on the line. Over to baseball, the Yankees acquiring Juan Soto last night, as the outfielder was rumored to be joining the Blue Jays earlier in the week. NBA action saw the Heat bounce the Raptors 112-103. Semifinals of the in-season tournament get going later this afternoon at 3 o'clock. It's the Bucks hosting the Pacers, while later this evening, the Lakers entertain the Pelicans. Sports update brought to you by Universal Rewind, reminding you that regular motor maintenance will prevent costly downtime. Contact them today to learn more about their motor maintenance services. Choose experience, expertise, and quality. Choose Universal Rewind.
The Nielson Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
.702 on the Nielson Show. Thank you very much for being here today. You can text us anytime. Paris Jewelers inbox 780-218-9999. And couldn't get yourself text of the day, which will get you a gift certificate to A&W. I would rather watch blank than the Steelers and Patriots tonight. You can have some fun with that one. Fill it in the inbox or in the nasty chat this morning as well. But for a moment, we need your attention, because we got a great little deal for all of our AM Nasties out there who are watching or listening today. You might want to make some plans here over the next 2 days. This deal is not being advertised anywhere else or in store. Prime is not even advertising this in store.
You got to knock twice, whisper something in the ear. Right?
This is exclusive as they come, but they are giving us a 2-day special today and tomorrow, Thursday and Friday. Of course, our hockey insiders are brought to you by Pro-Am Sports. It's the AM Nasty exclusive hat trick special. Oilers headwear, 40% off today and tomorrow. All you have to do is mention the EST hat trick to the boys, and they'll give you the discount. Pro-Am Sports at the corner of St. Albert Trail and 128th Ave, 1 block north of the Yellowhead. All Oilers headwear in stock, 40% off today and tomorrow. You just need to mention the EST hat trick. And that's it. They're not advertising this anywhere else. It's not even going to be known in store. It's like our little secret. So you roll into Pro-Am on the corner of St. Albert Trail and 128th, and you say, hey, I'm here for the EST hat trick, and you get 40%.
You know, Christmas shopping doesn't need to be hard.
No, it doesn't.
When you got stuff like this, this is like paving the way to text of the day. This is the cooks and boys are doing the shopping for you. You just have to show up.
This
you
is
just have
simple.
to go there, and it's
just find some time today and tomorrow.
Easy.
Swing on by, get 40% off. I want to see somebody go in and buy all of it. I'll take all of it.
6 o'clock or
I'll
longer
take the
vibes here.
entire
Yeah, you
stock.
might as well.
Let's do it. 40% off headwear today and tomorrow, only for you if you're listening live or watching live right now. Go visit the boys at Pro-Am. Look, the entire city's feeling great right now. The Oilers have won 5 in a row. They come off 5 days off. They're feeling great after a win. Let's bring in Luke Gazdic today. He joins us. You can find him on the Mitts Off podcast, and, of course, does a great job over at Sportsnet as well. Gaz, good morning, buddy. How you doing?
Good today, boys. How's it going?
The city's in a good place right now, Luke. I'll say it. It's a positive place. With that being said, there's still like a few people who popped in and are like, I'm worried about the Draisaitl line. And we're like, not today. Not today. Like, let's just enjoy a convincing victory over the Carolina Hurricanes. And how big was it, do you think? Like, I thought the tone was set immediately when Slavin kind of went back for a puck and let up for a moment, and Fogle was like a hound on it, took it away from him, centers it out. McLeod, who got the empty netter, buries one. But for a team coming off 5 days without a game, how big was that first 60 seconds?
Huge, man. And I'm sure that was a big key of theirs, was a good start. You look at the team in Calgary who's getting scored on in the first minute of every period now. But listen, that was something I had to learn as my career went further as a forechecker, especially when you're sent in as F1. It was old school kind of mentality to be thinking to just pace the defenseman through the wall and try to make contact and be as physical as possible. But guys are getting smarter and smarter. And I think a lot of guys are picking up some forechecking stuff from Zach Hyman. He's one of the best in the league at it. But Fogs goes in there, has a step on him, has a great stick check takeaway. And then, you know how you get out of slumps? Clowder got out of slumps by having good habits. And he goes, instead of doing a big loop or a circle or a turn, he puts on the brakes right in front of the net, stick on the ice, and gets a pass and puts it in. I mean, that's how you play hockey right there. But really nice play by Fogle. That was they had 23 takeaways last night. And that's just one great example of it where, I mean, I love playing physical, but you don't have to go run the guy through the glass every time. Just a great forecheck, little stick lift. Great way to start the game.
So they had those 4 wins in a row in 4 different ways kind of prior to this break. They come back, convincing victory against Carolina. What are you seeing right now, Luke, with this team? What has been the driving force in what clearly appears to be the official turnaround to the season?
Yeah, well, I actually think the time off for them was great. I heard some people saying it was the worst thing that could have happened to them to have 5 days off, but it's an 82-game season. And for these guys to get a little 5-day break off, especially when you guys know are nursing injuries. But honestly, it's kind of what Nobbs talked about when he got hired. He wanted these guys to play more free, and they look like they're playing loose and free, but confident at the same time. And listen, like everyone looks like they're on the same page again. From all the way back from skins to the D to the forwards. I tweeted last night about another set face-off play they had. And we didn't see a lot of that with Woody. And now you're seeing they have almost like a whole arsenal or playbook of these set face-offs, whether it's in the D zone or the offensive zone. Like last night, they scored that exact same face-off against Anaheim the other night, but it went to Hyman backdoor. And so it just shows that they're a little more prepared and everyone's kind of on the same page. And I think it doesn't hurt that Connor is back and playing some of the best hockey, we've seen him play this year.
Well, that's one thing, Luke. I mean, you could talk about Connor and how he looked through the first part and now how he's looked most recently. But you mentioned Knobloch, and I want to get to coaching. I mean, that was the one change that's happened. Rightfully so or not, and something had to give. Not necessarily, I think, people blaming Woodcroft for everything, but just your thoughts on Knobloch coming in. You mentioned the time off. You thought it to be a benefit, and that was nice, but Paul Coffey as well with the defense. Just your thoughts on the coaching and the one change that was made and the difference that it's made with this group.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up Koff, too, because I think the defense core as a whole has been night and day for me. Just the way they're playing, a little more detailed, a little more confident, all the way down to the penalty kill. I think how much can be said about this thing? 22 of the last 23 penalties they've killed off. I think it's 35 of 39 since the coaching change. And you can see now they're down to 3 pairs, 6 forwards. So he's kind of dialed it down, and these guys are taking a lot of pride in it, wearing it like a badge of honor, killing penalties. But there was even a clip in the third period last night when they're up 5. I think it was still 5-0, where Carolina gets the red. CeCe kind of gapped up and gets beat a little bit, but Nursey has his help right behind him. So everyone's kind of connected defensively, and it's fun to watch right now. It just, like I said before, like they're on the same page, and that starts from coaching mentality.
I think, it's always fun to joke about Connor McDavid like being the perfect hockey player, like a hockey robot created in a lab somewhere. But I have to say, man, every time I watch Zach Hyman, I think he's the perfect hockey player. Like, every team needs a Zach Hyman, don't they? Because he checks off every single box that you would want a player to check off.
Yeah, he checks it all, man. He does it all. And in the offensive zone, he's so fun to watch. I tell people on TV all the time, especially kids, should be watching this guy ISO cam. The way he protects pucks, the way he forechecks, the way he battles it's almost like something I've never seen before, where someone's so strong and creative on the puck just south of the goal line. He can make so many plays happen out of nothing. There's so many times where I'll see him and I think he'll be out of it. He'll be a stick length away from the D, but he makes a play. And you know what? He's a guy that can finish too. And you got to be smart when you're playing with Connor. Get yourself open, get yourself to the net. And that's what Zach does constantly. He's there and he's ready to score always. They're not caught by surprise by some of these passes that 97 is going to give him. He's ready to shoot, ready to score all the time. And you could tell he just loves playing with them too. Like right after, I think after the third goal, his hat trick goal, he pointed to him and he just had the big smile on his face. And he just said, nice pass, man. And it's fun to watch. These guys are having fun again.
What do you make of this Carolina team? I mean, their save percentage is right in the tank, and that's coming from us here in Edmonton, who talked about save percentage for the first 6 weeks of the season. So what do you make of the Hurricanes? Like, they're coming off that loss to Winnipeg when they had 43 shots. They lost last night. Now they were behind a lot. Skinner, I thought, was so steady last night. But what do you make of the Carolina right now?
I mean, right now they're hurting, but this is still a really good hockey team. They just have to figure it out in net. And I didn't think that they'd have the 32nd save percentage in the NHL at this point, but you could tell how frustrated Rod was last night. Listen, they didn't play a great hockey game, but the Oilers forced them into playing that way. Like, they were stretching everything out. They tried man-to-man in the D zone, and the Oilers were just clicking, running switches, having all these options. But it's still a really good hockey team. At the end of the day, they still put up 38 shots on net, or 39. Skins had 38 saves.
Yeah.
So they were still buzzing. They kind of play this, Colby Armstrong calls it smothering, where there's always one or two guys on top of pucks. And listen, I think they'll be fine. They just really have to figure out this goaltending thing, because you know how frustrating it is starting a game, 41 seconds into the game, you're down 2-0, right behind the 8 ball like that every night is so frustrating. So they got to figure something out in net, but they still have a really good team and a really good decor.
Luke Gazdic with us here on the show for Pro-Am Sports. What was it like Brendan Moore was losing it last night. Like, he was ripping a strip off him. Then he goes on with Panger and says, we're on pay. We're going to lose like 50-0. Like, I've never seen our team play this bad before. How's that impact a bench when the coach does, rip a strip off everybody? Is one of those things that you can't kind of do all the time? Or can you take us through maybe a time in your career where a coach just lost it on the bench?
Yeah, buddy. I don't know. They must have a contractual agreement with TNT or like whoever did that, because I have no idea why he wanted or should have taken that.
I know.
I mean, that's the first thing I thought of when he was talking was they are brutal. He said, these guys are brutal. I've never seen a team like this before. And I just imagine sitting right in front of him, just being like, holy, this is awkward. But no, I had some coaches rip us back in the day. Dallas Eakins was always good for a blowout, time out, and just an absolute carve session every now and then.
Does it work?
Not
does it actually wake you guys up, or are you like, man, calm down, we're trying? Like, where do you come out of that?
If you know what, if there's like a purpose to the rant or to the speech that he's going to make, if he tails it off with something we have to change or do, maybe. But I don't know. When you're just standing there getting berated by a coach, sometimes it makes things even worse, honestly.
I just quickly, I like somebody in the Nasty Chat says, that rage will enter the Saddle Dome tonight.
Yes.
So, tough one to be the Flames tonight if Brendan Moore gets his hands into those guys. But go ahead, Rick.
Luke, moving on here, in which the Oilers keep winning, fans won a game like in a next half an hour almost. That's kind of the but Minnesota, 4 in a row as well. They're in Vancouver tonight. They'll be in town tomorrow. What can you make of this Wild team? Another club that's gone through a coaching change as of late.
Yeah, they're playing good hockey. And I played for John Hines in New Jersey. He is no joke. I'll tell you that much. He's a very intense guy. I said it before. It's 11 years pro hockey. It's the hardest I've ever practiced. holds guys accountable, whether it's video, whether it's in game. He's not afraid to call his guys out. So he kind of has that motivating, almost like fear tactic to his guys. But this is the new coach bump you're going to see, right? This is kind of what I talked about with Nobbs, is you're going to get the best out of your team early because guys are kind of trying to earn the trust of him. But he's a scary guy to play for and demands things done in a right way and will hold guys accountable. And you can see they're buzzing right now. That first period in Calgary last night, they're winning every race to pucks, any loose rebound, anything like that. They're first on it. They made Calgary look silly last night, 2 nights ago in the first period, just from outworking them. And they're starting to score goals now. So this is a dangerous team. But in saying that too, the Oilers look great. It should be a great game.
It should be a good game. Two teams trending in the right direction. We'll see what happens with Minnesota tonight. That is for sure. As always, guys, appreciate it, man. When are you on Sportsnet again? Tonight?
Tonight, buddy. Hockey Central, and I'll be no Oiler game, but I'll be doing the late intermissions.
Man, how many nights a week are you on there now?
I'm on every Tuesday, Thursday, Friday.
Damn. That's almost a full-time gig. You know? That's good.
Almost.
That's right. Who's on the next episode of Mitts Off?
Oh, you know what? We just had Benny Sherratt on, so I will preface with that. If you haven't seen the Sherratt interview, Ben Sherratt, Detroit Red Wings defenseman, used to play for the Jets. Outstanding, old school guy, told some great stories, had a couple great segments about some mentors he had. Really good interview. If you guys haven't checked that out, go for it.
Beauty. We will, man. Keep it up. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Luke.
Okay, thanks, guys.
There you go. That is Luke Gazdic, brought to you by Pro-Am Sports, where they've got that sale just for you today.
And what do you have to do?
Tomorrow.
What do you have to do?
Today and tomorrow. It's very simple.
Yeah.
You have to go in and you have to do the secret handshake with both Cooks and Boys. And you kiss Ken on the cheek, and then they give you this deal.
3 times. Not once, not twice, but thrice. Yeah.
Today and tomorrow only, and they're not advertising this sale anywhere else. It's the AM Nasty exclusive hat trick special. I don't know if this is just tied into the Hyman Hattie last night or what, but it's, and we'll get to the Hyman goal song again too. We'll play that for, the kids and the adults. It's the AM Nasty exclusive hat trick special. Oilers headwear, 40, not 10, not 15, not 20, not 25, not 30, not 35. 40% off today and tomorrow. Only for you Edmonton Sports Talk supporters. Just mention the EST hat trick to the boys, and they'll give you 40% off Oilers headwear today and tomorrow. Pro-Am Sports on the corner of St. Albert Trail on 128th Ave, 1 block north of the Yellowhead. It's the EST hat trick special, and it's just for you. So go get that done. Show your support to our great partners over at Pro-Am. At 40% off. I know it's Christmas season. Everybody goes, well, don't buy anything for yourself.
Oh,
because you're about to get all these presents.
What?
I say you throw that out the window.
At 40% off, you kidding me? That
Exactly.
all of that stuff.
At 40% off, you can do whatever the hell you want.
The rules are up the door. Yeah, chains are off. Treat yourself. You've been a busy little elf this season.
They got about 1 million different hats in there.
Yeah.
So yes, treat yourself.
But also, as I said though, the Cooks and Boys are basically doing the Christmas shopping for you, and then you can probably go in there today with this little deal and eliminate easily a couple of names off your list. I mean, it's you're welcome, right?
Last time I was in there, and I don't want to say too much, because my wife and kids might be having breakfast right now and watching the show. But last time I was in there, Daddy did a little Christmas shopping. What can I say? And that was during the big Super Saturday sale. I might have to make an appearance here over the next couple of days.
Daddy's big sack, hey? Hauling that thing, loading it up.
Daddy's big sack was filled at Pro-Am Sports. The hat trick special. Just go by there today. Mention the EST hat trick on the corner of St. Albert Trail and 120th Ave at Pro-Am Sports. Many of you know where it is by now, but if you don't, why don't you go there right the first time, because they're dishing out headwear, Oilers headwear, 40% off. All you have to do is mention the EST hat trick, which is pretty damn awesome. Speaking of awesome, Zach Hyman, hat trick last night. Let's do it again.
Hey everyone, I'm Zach Hyman of the Edmonton Oilers.
She's so tenacious.
Hope you guys enjoy it.
Revving up his engine, listen to the crowd just roar. No reason for tension, Zach is gonna shoot and score. Hyman's in the scoring zone. Right into After 7 years, now he's playing by McDavid's side. He's got you jumping out of your seat 'cause of that look in his eyes. Hyman's in the scoring zone. He'll take you right into that scoring zone. You know he's gonna score a few. Playing with Connor, it's a top line overload. You'll finally see what he can do. So raise your hands up as high as they can go.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'm back. I'm back,
He always said that was a magician's secret.
His energy is contagious.
Playing with an edge, that's what you're gonna see. Taking the next step, 'cause he's no longer with the Leafs. Hyman's in the scoring zone. He'll take you right into that scoring zone.
Zach Hyman with the Hattie last night. That's the second time we've hit the Hyman scoring zone song today. You know there's another one coming. It's probably at least be the sound of the day. We'll probably maybe roll back 12 days of Christmas sound of the day. But we'll hit that again in hour number 3 for sure. You can text us anytime. Paris Jewelers inbox. Why not a holiday proposal? And do it with Paris Jewelers. Great selection of engagement rings. Propose now, pay later with their flexible financing options. Do not pay for 1 year with our partners over at PJ's. 22 locations.
PJ's. I keep thinking of YTV. Remember PJ Freshfill? They had like the PJs, much like the VJs on Much Music.
Yeah.
Yeah, and they had all
and
this.
see, well, how I view it with the PJ thing is in the Disney movie Robin Hood. The King John there, they go, oh, PJ. It's Little John calls him, and then he's like, oh, I like that. PJ.
Get that clip.
I gotta get that one for Paris Jewelers. Ooh, I like that. PJ. This text is in. It says, I'd rather watch 2.5 Men than the Patriots and Steelers tonight. That's what we used to say mid-game often during the decade of darkness.
That was
That's
the
in
thing,
from Hollyrod Hard Ticket. All right. I like this one. This ties into where we're headed next. I'd rather watch a soccer game with the disgraced commish than tonight's football game between the Patriots and the Pittsburgh Steelers.
A couple options later today. Everton and Newcastle, as well Tottenham and West Ham in a London derby.
Oh, a London derby. Why do you tell me the London derby was happening?
Yeah, baby.
God. And this is in that Premier League.
The Premier League.
Yeah,
yes.
nice. Isn't Liverpool having a nice bounce back this year?
Yeah, well, it's 2.0. Klopp had his first team, and they did what they did.
Yeah.
And then last year is kind of
reset it.
but now it's the 2.0.
Where are you on the table?
Oh, we're second.
That's what I thought.
Maybe,
I saw that
actually,
last
yesterday.
night. I saw somebody reading about Man City last night.
Oh, yeah, they lost
and
at
I saw
Villa.
Liverpool
Yeah.
on the table. Yeah.
Man City's form over the past 3 draws and a loss.
What?
They're now 4th in the table on 30 points.
They need to crack some 6 o'clocker loggers immediately.
There's something like that, yes.
Immediately. All right, let's bring in someone who's just referred to as disgraced commish, which...
Big win yesterday, Manchester United as well.
Oh, it's feeling good today, Mr. Lean. Matty, how you doing, buddy?
Walking on sunshine.
What do you got to say about that text? Can you believe that?
Was it from Lucas Holt?
How dare you go after our house band? Unbelievable.
It's easy for EST listeners to come after me being commish. Lucas was the first.
He's the OG.
He's the OG. Come at me as a commish.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, OG commission.
The eternal audit he wanted.
Eternal audit, yes. The forever audit.
How about this? Who's on the hangout today?
Connor Hood,
Yes.
who is
From
the Golden Bears, as well as from Explore Edmonton, Quinn Phillips.
The new commish sits down with the old commish today on the hangout. Are you going to get into this a bit with her?
Of course, we got 2 hours to spend. I got to
like
fill.
how it won't be discussed at all for 2 hours.
I got to fill 2 hours.
To be in, eh? Like,
I have. Why is it awkward? I love Quinn.
I don't know. Well, we all love Quinn.
I resigned. I don't know why you guys keep making this a thing.
You're a disgraced commish. People view it as a disgraced commish.
Like I care.
That's the people painting him.
Like I care. Again, I gave the people in my last act what they wanted. I'm out.
Is there an awkward?
So there's no awkwardness. I will. Again,
What about when you host the draft on the 20th?
Is that the day it's happening?
It's the 20th. Yeah.
Thanks for letting me know.
Oh, sorry. Should have filled you in.
Oh, you're not the commissioner.
I mean,
Why? You got to. So I'll just make sure I'm not booking anyone.
Yeah. No. You'll open the hangout on the 20th.
Oh well, it's fully booked.
No, it's not. No, it's not.
Yes.
I've got.
I love this.
I have.
We want to do the draft on the 20th, and Matt, he's like, sorry, it's booked.
I've got Bob Stauffer already booked in, and
He'll come back in the new year.
now I got to tell Bobby it's over. We can't have it. He's gonna be upset. Really? Like you guys couldn't give me the heads up?
Bob walking into this office would be an all-time moment. We'd have to put it right up on Instagram immediately. TikTok.
For a draft.
Everything, yeah. All right, cool bet hotline of the day. Mr. Lean, we had some time and looking over things over there. Are you going?
He's going
are you
in
going
season.
In season
You
tourney?
have to tonight,
No.
boys.
You're not. Oh, I thought you were.
No.
The two of you?
Well, if you had, what do we call Trev? Captain Hunch.
Captain Hunch.
If you had a hunch for that Lakers game
Not
tonight,
touching it.
You're not touching it.
Not
Wow.
touching it.
Only money line minus 118.
Bucks Pacers.
Don't care.
You're too worried. You're nervous.
I don't like.
This is a nervous sense I'm getting from you. on the Lakers
Nuts.
tonight.
Look, I want them to go get the win. I don't want to put anything else on that. It's only about the Lakers to me getting the dub. That's the
get the
most
dub.
important
Just
thing.
get
Go
the
get the dub. That's what matters right now. No, so I'm looking at the Premier League.
Oh.
Yes, he's doing it.
All right.
There's one team that's very poor at home. There's another team that's actually not that great on the road.
Oh, boy.
But they are a strong team. So I would, plus money, plus 143. I like Newcastle taking down Everton.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is this the derby we were talking
This is not the derby.
No, this is not the
would be
derby.
a-
But no, Tottenham West Ham is one of the
So
many
that's
London
the derby,
derbies that
okay.
you can have.
How many London derbies can you have?
I think
Tons.
there's
There are
7
lots of
clubs.
Is there
seats.
7 clubs just in London?
Is it Premier League 7?
Well, just at the
or-
Premier, you
Yeah.
go down the list, there's a lot of smaller clubs.
No, but there's 7 Premier League teams in London.
I think in the Premier League right now, they're
Wow.
something like that.
I gotta take. I'll
What?
take
It's
a
a
quick
big
Can
look.
you imagine having 7 hockey teams in
Huge
Edmonton?
city, yeah.
Yeah, well, I guess London is.
Well, you have your South Side
yeah,
Athletic
yeah,
Club. You could have like the North Side something or other. You could have a Fort Saskatchewan.
Yeah, but not packing in 30,000 to watch Southside Athletic.
London's
You know
a
what I
big
mean?
city. It's
Oh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No, 7. 7 clubs right now in London. You've got Brentford, Chelsea, Fulham, Arsenal, Crystal, West Ham, Tottenham.
Wow,
one city.
that's crazy. All right, so
yeah,
the play once
Newcastle.
again, Newcastle.
I
All right.
would like Newcastle just straight up.
Yeah.
With on the money line plus 143. Yeah, and often with those London clubs like that's you pick the team that you live closest to. Like you don't travel across London
it.
to
So
go
you-
pick a team. Like it's often the club that you
your neighborhood.
eventually grow up cheering for is the neighborhood one.
For the cool bet hotline of the day, I'm not trying to get fancy. I'm not trying to create something special here. We're just taking the obvious pick tonight. Under 30 in the Steelers-Patriots game. That's right. We're at a point where we are now predicting an NFL game to have a score that maxes out in the 20s as this wonderful season continues.
Did I hear you mention on the Lock Shop too? There was perhaps another, or 2 other games that were under the 30.
No,
or
the
around 30?
Jags and Browns are at
That's the other
30
one,
and a
yeah.
half as well.
Yeah, no.
Texans, Jets, 33 for a total this week. But this Patriots Steelers games has like
Giants Packers is 35.5.
yeah, it's like this game tonight. The highest scoring this game is like Steelers 16-10.
You doing the field goals though? Cool bet field goals. I mean,
well, I'm not even sure these teams could generate ball movement enough to get within field goal range. We'll be on the over 3.5 field goals on the Lock Shop today because we're always on the over 3.5 field goals in prime time, especially when it looks like a dud like this. So your cool bet hotline of the day: Steelers Patriots under 38.5 or under 30. And I would love if we could hammer that enough that they actually have to drop the line to 29.5. Can you imagine an NFL game where the line is sitting at 29.5 at kickoff?
What about like
That's
a safety?
nuts.
You smell a safety coming up in this game, hey? Like a rouge. I'd go over on the 0.5 for a rouge. I
Wouldn't that be
don't know how, but I think we see a rouge tonight somehow.
If there was
eh?
ever going to be a rouge
Safety.
in the
5-3 your final.
I mean, we laugh, but the Patriots lost 6-0 last week.
But the defense, outstanding. Like, it's championship defense. What
This is
they've
why
been
you got to
putting
get on
up,
the
but
under
you just
here.
can't score.
It's Mitch Trubisky. It's like they got Mitch Trubisky going up against New England right now. This is an under.
Matt
This is
Canada gone.
under all day.
The shackles are off.
Under 30. Cash it right now. Minus 110. Under 30. And I'd say we hammered enough that we force them to move that line down to 29.5.
Patriots don't get out of single digits. Or maybe the Steelers don't. Is this both single digits? Are they both in single digits? Or is one in single digits tonight?
The New England Patriots just went through a 3-game stretch where they scored the fewest points since the late 1930s. It's 2023. Like, this is where the New England Patriots offense, and don't tell me, don't you dare text in right now and say, well, Dusty, maybe they're due. They're not due. Their last 3 games, they scored 6 points against the Colts. They scored 7 points against the Giants. And they scored 0 points against the Chargers. This is an under. This is an under all day.
Join me tonight, Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge, $9.99 smoked brisket cheesesteaks. Plus, you could be a winner. Machines, tables, free square board. It's going to be electric. Come on down. NBA in-season action, in-season tournament action, semifinals. This is a game that you don't take seriously, but you do kick back and say, hey, let's go. Give me 2 safeties.
Give me a brisket.
I want a safety each as you're chowing down your second brisket.
Yeah.
Like, I want to see this thing go completely off the rails.
Oh, it'll be off the rails.
2 black eyes for the NFL tonight.
Promise you that. All right, let's get to a sports update for Park Mazda. When we come back, I got beef for Acme Meats, and then Ian Rapaport will pop by, and we'll take a look at the rest of the NFL schedule. And is there a chance that we see Nathan Rourke in Jacksonville? We'll get to that coming up in about 15 minutes. Sports update right now.
Edmonton Oilers 4 first-period goals on way to a 6-1 win over the Hurricanes to kickstart a 6-game homestand. Zach Hyman with the hat trick. Stuart Skinner stopping 39 of 40 shots faced. Oilers look to make it 6 straight wins tomorrow night against the Wild. 13 games around the NHL tonight, including the Wild out in Vancouver to battle the Canucks. Other action last night saw Tampa defeat Pittsburgh 3-1, Florida over Dallas 5-4, and the Golden Knights doubling up the Blues 6-3. You can join me tonight for Week 14 in the NFL. It's the Steelers and Patriots. I'll be at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. $9.99 smoked brisket cheesesteaks on special. Great groups of people as well as a free scoreboard with prizes on the line. Yankees acquiring Juan Soto last night as the outfielder was rumored to be joining the Blue Jays earlier in the week. NBA action last night, so the Heat bounced the Raptors 112-103. Semifinals of the in-season tournament tip-off this afternoon and tonight as the Bucks host the Pacers this afternoon, while Lakers entertaining the Pelicans later this evening. Sports update brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda and Mitch Lewicki, where Mitch would rather work overtime than watch tonight's Thursday night.
Hi there. If you're like me, you like to picture yourself in luxury, even though there's absolutely no way you could afford it. And if you can, well, even better. Thankfully, I picture myself in something that is luxury, but still absolutely affordable, like the all-new Mazda CX-90 from Park Mazda. With the new luxury features like facial recognition settings and quilted detail Napa leather seating, I can pretend to be comfortable with all of my proper settings activated without even touching the button, thanks to Mitch Lewicki and the great staff at Park Mazda. I like to picture Mitch Lewicki as a figure skater. He wears like a white outfit and he does interpretive ice dances to my life's journey.
Park Mazda, your dealer for life in Sherwood Park off Y Road, parkmazda.ca.
Step closer to the hollow, the devil may care. If I showed you around my heart, would you mind if I shared to show you what's wrong with me? I will not change it. I will wait patiently while you get painted out. Let me into your untainted tribe to be the one who gets to live a lie. Oh, let me lie with you. I'll be a perfect stranger. I wanna be that stupid boy that you don't talk about. You better believe there's a sharp knife beside my bed. You better believe there's a sharp knife inside my head. And if you would leave, I will take you by the hand.
EST House Band. You'll hear them between shows on TuneIn or at EdmontonSportsTalk.com on our audio feed. Thanks to everybody who's downloaded the free TuneIn app and give us a favorite, a little heart, a little like on TuneIn. That helps other people realize that we are on TuneIn as well. Very easy way to consume the show. Just connect it in your vehicle, and you got static-free sports talk in the morning on the way into work. Guys, watch this football game tonight produce 70 points.
Well, that's how it happens sometimes.
That's not
but
going to happen. It's not going to happen. If this game produced, I don't want to be bold take guy. It could backfire on you. So no, I won't say, but it's not going to be 70 points. I'll be stunned if there's 40 points in this football game tonight. And I'll be angry if there's more than 30. So we'll see how it plays out tonight. Ian Rapaport's coming up in about 10 minutes. Let's get to I Got Beef. We got our show meat here. We got our show jerky. I Got Beef for Acme Meats. Eat fresh, eat local, eat Acme. Go see Corey the Butcher. He'll carve you up something right. Very excited. What do you have beef with? Hit us up, 780-218-9999. This has become a new smash hit segment on Nielson Show 2.0, 780-218-9999. What do you have beef with? You want some,
hungry boy
Maddie?
over there.
Yeah, hungry boy.
Well, you're gonna have to rip one off because we only got two big. You're gonna have to come for a rip. You want me to rip it?
You want him to rip it? He'll get his hands all over your jerky.
That's fine.
All right, there you go. There you go. Show meat for Mr. Lean.
Oh, geez. You got it? No,
sorry, don't worry. 1, 2, 3. Good.
Little mustard on that
3-second rule. 5-second rule. We got it in 3 seconds. That's good. What do you got beef with? 780-218-9999. Or you can hit us up in the nasty chat as well. All right, Lieutenant Eric, what do you got beef with?
Well, I got beef with this game tonight, I guess. Why couldn't you flag? No, but you mentioned the Patriots, the past 3 weeks? I think we know what the Pittsburgh Steelers are prior to even the Kenny Pickett injury or the Matt Canada firing. Why couldn't week 14? Why could we have not? I get it's week 1. Maybe you're where the season started, we can't do anything. But we
knew this game was going to suck 8 weeks ago.
Exactly. So what? And now I know that there are a few. We've gone over week 14. There are a few other matchups too that I wouldn't mind seeing jettisoned into the sun. But I mean, you had to. The NFL can do anything, right? The power of the shield. I mean, they're going to put a man on the moon one of these days. Why can't they switch a crappy game in week 14 of your 18-week season out? There's got to be a way. Or do something else. Put the Manning cast on. Have Peyton and Eli watch old games. And I mean,
the Patriots are so bad, and Huss was talking about this in Lock Shop last week.
Great defense.
The Patriots are so bad, they got flexed out of a Sunday night game featuring Patrick Mahomes. Yeah. Like, Patrick Mahomes was going to be in primetime, and they flex the Patriots and Chiefs out of a primetime spot. That's how bad the Patriots are right now.
And I could see if this was a Monday nighter, because to me, if you're ranking the 3 primetime, it's Sunday. I think it's now Thursday, and I think Monday night is counting your third of the bunch. I'd have this as a Monday nighter. But a Thursday game kicking off the week, heading into a Friday?
I got to get to this text. Hey, boys, it's Ryan from Whale and the Wolf. Can you guys top up the closet rider with a couple of waters or 6 o'clockers? It gets mighty hot in here.
And he's got the water.
So that's Ryan texting from the closet, being like, hey, can you throw us a couple waters or 6 o'clockers in here? Now, Maddie, you did get, you got some water yesterday at Costco. Big water purchase because Damon Bunting was leaving us thirsty. None of those DB waters kicking around here. You got 2 flats.
240s.
What? Now, this is guest water?
Yeah, but we've got 80 now, so there's a couple more.
So could I have a couple
There's
of
a
water?
couple. Like, that's the thing, is it's Costco prices, right?
Yeah. You got to load up on water.
The Kirkland brand, too.
My wife went to Costco yesterday, and last night the kids went back. She goes, can you go unload the car? I'm like, oh, no, what did you do? So she got like 8 items. But just Costco's insane. It's just huge items of everything. Like, we got the world's biggest bag of spinach last night. I needed like a forklift to haul this thing into the bloody house.
That's because spinach ends up being only like a spoonful at the end.
Yeah, you put all that in the bottom.
Move it all down, yeah. Yeah, that's a tough one. What do you got beef with? Guys, I got beef with the previous I Got Beef teaser when Lieutenant Eric asked about beef jerky and Dusty answered with a bacon take. Yeah, I did. I was,
no. Well, I was using it as the example of what Corey
beefs,
gives us. But I was open to any sort of. I said ground beef is like your lower, and then your Wagyu would be the
way up there
on the beef scale.
I brought in a bacon reference, which didn't, I guess.
Yeah,
make a lot of
beef.
sense,
I'm thinking meat.
All right, here I got a few beefs today. Well, I got beef with people who are now pretending like they weren't panicking about the Oilers. Like I love the people who hop online now and go, if you jumped off the bandwagon, you're not allowed back on.
Evander Kane
the
knew it all along.
entire city was off the bandwagon. You cannot tell me you weren't sitting there online bitching and panicking yourself as well. Like I love those people who are like, I was with them the whole time. No, you weren't. Come on. You see the starts of the season? Do you guys see any reasonable takes for the first 6 weeks of the season from any fan who was just like, I'm not leaving this bandwagon. I'm here forever. So now don't be that guy that's like, oh, if you left, we don't want you back. Come on. The entire city was in doldrums for 6 weeks. So don't be that guy. I got beef with that guy. I also got beef with places who charge for carts, usually in general, but especially during the bloody holidays. Can you not just leave the carts disconnected during the holidays? Do you realize how annoying it is for me to go into Walmart and have to want to buy a ton of stuff, and then I don't have a loony, and you can just go off. It's a pain in the ass. It's the Christmas season. Just leave the carts unlocked. It's
I
not
think your
going to kill
key
you.
works.
What?
Certain keys could work.
So now you're wow. So you're stealing cart time
and money.
You get the money back. You're not stealing anything.
Oh yeah, I guess you wouldn't be technically. So then I just
Like
I
there's
don't get it.
certain
Like,
you could get coins that just go on your keychain too that like are the
they
same
don't
size
want-
as a loony, so you could plug in, so you're never using a
They
loony.
don't
or
want
something.
people taking carts.
so people just get around it. Why don't they just stop that?
Because they want people taking carts. People just go. You go to a cart corral and you just take them. People take them.
Okay, but
I know
first
it
of
doesn't
all,
work, but that's
it's
the
not
incentive.
like, and somebody can bring me up to speed on this. But like, for example, back to our grocery store days, it's not like Save-On was losing significant money because all of our carts were being stolen.
But it's annoying.
How easy, I just think during Christmas time, you shouldn't have to worry about having like an extra loony on you wherever you go. It drives me nuts, especially because I don't carry cash anywhere. Like it's
Have a truck loony.
Yeah, exactly.
Just one loony in the truck that's only for that.
But why can't they just say like, hey, come to our store and spend hundreds and thousands of dollars and just take this cart conveniently as opposed to an unconveniently cart situation.
You have to refit all
like-
the carts, though. You have to take off that
Yeah.
that component.
Steve says, Dusty, just use a 3D printed loony and it works.
Ooh, or just a loony. Just use a loony. You're not.
I don't have a loony anywhere.
Use a cylindrical flat piece of something and just put it on your keychain. It's easy.
I get very frustrated with these stupid
Yeah.
cards. In fact, I don't go to places that do it. I'm like, this
is a crispy
So
bacon
if
of
I'm
beef.
rolling in, let's say I had to go to Walmart today. I don't have a loony in the truck. I'm not going to Walmart because of the stupid cart situation. I won't be able to get what I want. I will go somewhere else where they're just like, here, take a cart, use it for nothing right now. Like,
Try your office key next time.
Really?
I think.
Well, that's a game changer.
Or you can buy those medallions for like $5.
Mm-hmm. I also want to throw this out. Whatever you got for. See, this one says it's not about stolen carts. It's about making people return them back as opposed to leaving. No.
Oh, that's another good one. Yeah,
No,
incentive.
but
It's incentive.
I'll say this: I used to like going out and gathering carts. Got you out of the store.
It was a job.
It was one of the best parts
Like
about
the self
job.
checkouts,
Like,
they're eliminating the job, right?
Yeah.
Now I know.
Yeah.
They want to get rid of the self checkouts.
What? It's too much theft.
A lot of places are having too much thefts that they're thinking about getting rid of self checkouts.
Man, so I got beef with people who are stealing through the self checkout.
I got accused of theft once through a self checkout.
What?
I was buying a russet potato and I rang it up as a red by accident, and she called me on it. She was all over it. She was excuse
she
me.
didn't.
Oh no.
Are you serious?
And she still doesn't look at me. I go to the same grocery. She doesn't look at it. I'll say hello, good morning, goodbye, and she just hates me. I was trying to skim 60 cents because of a potato.
There's
Get
too many
off it.
options.
Why? How am I
Sometimes you
supposed
don't
to-
know which one it is, and you click and
It's a potato.
and you also see the price go up. You're like, that's not the one I picked.
I think I've also bought a regular onion and called it a sweet onion before. Maybe saved $1.
Man, that's amazing.
I just found that pretty. I guess I have beef with that. I never.
Yeah, you-
said
yeah,
it
you
before,
got
but
beef with it too.
Kind of low key pissed me off. Like I'm very honest with that. How many bags? Yeah, I don't lie. Honest mistake. Potato.
Tommy Gazold is in the nasty chat. Says carts at Safeway and Oliver are now GPS locked. What? Who shops at a fancy grocery store that has GPS carts? That's amazing.
Outside of Costco, I don't use carts. I'm not gonna lie, but I also live alone, so
So you're not ever doing.
I
Like a
don't
$300
need anything
grocery
massive
order.
enough
Yeah.
to take a cart. So I don't know what it's like to fully actually need that
It's nice to
loony or
lean on a
something.
cart though and just kind of.
Quick side note: where do we come out on getting a 3D printer for the Edmonton Sports Talk offices?
Your CEO. You could go to the Edmonton Public Library downtown. I think the Stanley Milner has one.
You know who else has one? Our web guy, Fergus.
Does he?
He has it right in his office. He's like, check out the 3D printer. I can print whatever. I'm like, actually, that is a cool thing to say. Like, it's kind of neat. Like, oh, I need a mug today. Print one up. That'd be pretty sweet.
We need more beef jerky. Print some up, right? Like, why not? More 6 o'clock or loggers. Make your own.
Krager's in and says, you see how many people leave carts in the parking lot? Bitch about the lazy people who don't return the carts to the proper practices. It causes these types of things to be implemented.
There you go.
Yeah, but I take my cart. I guess I take my cart back. And I like to play a game to see how far away I can be to push it all the way into the corral there. Right?
People do ruin it for others, right?
Yeah.
It is nice when somebody's returning one, you're showing up, and you're going to be like, let me take that cart. Then the nice handoff, right? Like, you know that?
I can't believe somebody called you out for scanning in the wrong potato at a self-checkout. That's just crazy.
Well,
that's a crazy story to me.
It was a mistake, and I own it. Like, but she thinks like I was trying to skim the system. So now whenever I'm in there, there's like eyes on me, you know, because this guy, look at this guy, he's been making millions
Eric goes
for years.
every time and skims 50 cents off
yeah,
it,
and
he's
up.
adding up, and he's ripped them off for a big $25 this year.
That's kind of offended. Like I was behind this big scheme.
You're the potato vigilante.
Kidding me?
You're the Jacksonville Jaguars employee.
Yeah, exactly. All right, your thoughts on all of it. I used to love self-checkout because I always liked it. I never was like a till. I never worked the till in grocery.
Yeah.
But I always kind of liked it. But now it's like, oh, if you don't bring your own bags, I have to carry all this stuff. Like, it's just...
They get a paper.
Shopping is extremely stressful to me, boys. Oh, man. Anyway, who do we got? We got Ian Rapaport. He's going to join us. Try to do everything we can to not have to talk too much about this Patriots-Steelers game. But he joins us right now. And as always, brought to you by our great partners at Century Casino, Fort Road. You can join Lieutenant Eric tonight for the Thursday Nighter. Rap Sheet, good morning, buddy. How you doing?
What's going on? How are you?
We're doing fine today. Having a little bit of an interesting conversation here about using a loonie to get a shopping cart and going through self-checkout. Are you a self-checkout guy when you go to the store? Or do you like to still go through an old-fashioned till and talk to a human?
I actually like to talk to a human. I mean, I'll do self-checkout if it's like one item, maybe. But usually it's, I'd rather talk to a human, do it quick, get out of there. My wife's a big self-checkout person.
Okay.
So she'll go to like Costco, get like 30 items and self-checkout. And I'm like, yeah, that's not my journey.
Yeah, I don't want any part of that. The moment I saw self-checkout at Costco, I was like, oh no. My wife's going to love this too. Like, this is going to change our Costco game forever, which is nuts. All right. Help us get excited for the Steelers and Patriots. What should we be watching tonight for you?
Defensive touchdowns. Because I think there'll be some interceptions, and who doesn't love a good defensive touchdown? And, I would say it's probably fair to say there might be an interception or two. Bailey Zappi versus Mitch Trubisky. That feels like at least an interception or two each. Defensive touchdowns. I'm starting the Steelers defense in fantasy, so, I would say potentially that could bode well for me. So that is what we're looking for.
That's the best take I've heard so far this morning. Cheer for defensive touchdowns, because you're right. Defensive touchdowns are exciting. So we might have that going for us tonight, as long as it doesn't move the line past 30 points, which I'm on the under tonight. So that would be good. Where are the Patriots at right now? What is going to happen in New England over the next 5 months? Yeah, what happens here?
Well, I mean, I think there's a couple options. There is the option where they say, this is a terrible team. We're poorly coached. We need a new coach. Bill Belichick is done. I would say that is, certainly something that at least would merit conversation. There's also the thinking of, wow, this team has a terrible quarterback situation. Defense is kind of good. Receivers are okay. They just have a really, really bad quarterback. And maybe with a not as bad quarterback, they wouldn't be as bad. Maybe the greatest coach of all time would potentially be a good person to help pick the next quarterback. Maybe they keep losing. They pick in the top 5, and then they start over. Those are two options. The other option is they say, Bill Belichick is great. He has a lot of value. We are not going to fire him. We are going to try to get compensation for him. And then they try to do a coach trade at the end of the year and, maybe promote someone from within, maybe Gerard Mayo as their next coach. So those are three options. Those are all extremely different, but that is what's on the table for the Patriots.
It's interesting with Belichick because of everything he's accomplished. Do you think there's one more stop in the career of Bill Belichick?
Maybe, yeah. I don't think, not to speak for him, but I don't really think he would like to end like this. Again, greatest coach of all time. I think that's without a doubt. Maybe in any sport. Probably wouldn't want to end, having won like 2 games. But again, like if you're going to restart, if you're going to say, who is the best coach I could possibly get to do this all over again and rebuild a dynasty, like, can you get better than the greatest coach ever? So it is an interesting issue. There's a lot of fascinating options. I don't know which direction they're going to choose, but I also know that it's the Patriots. And, a lot of times we've learned over the course of the last couple of years, when you think you know about the Patriots, you really don't. So I will hold out guessing because rarely does assuming with them work out well at all.
Ian, Week 14 continues on Sunday afternoon, and we are starting to see maybe a separation between the haves and the have-nots, arguably. But this game from Arrowhead between the Chiefs and Bills, how do you score this one with these two clubs? Obviously preseason darlings and picked to hit the heights, but both teams right now, like, how do you see this one going? Blowout either way, close game? How do you score the Bills and Chiefs heading into Arrowhead Sunday afternoon?
I actually think considering where the Chiefs' offense is, I think they really need to score. And that's what's kind of interesting. I mean, if it's a close game, look, if the Chiefs win, it's sort of like, all right, well, they're back kind of where they should be. If the Bills win, it's like, look out. Because, I think they're 6-6 now, something like that. And coming out of a bye and have looked really good recently, even though they haven't won. And I feel like, if they have like a breakout game, if they look like they can look, then all anyone's going to talk about is here come the Bills. And, they got to keep winning, and I definitely get it. And, they got to go at least 3-2, maybe 4-1 down the stretch, but they can. This is a team that really can. So that's kind of, if the Chiefs win, it's kind of like, all right, we're back kind of where they should be. The Bills win, to me, that's a much bigger and more interesting story.
NFL insider Ian Rapaport with us here on the Nielson Show this morning. Trevor Lawrence obviously suffering that injury in what was a pretty thrilling game against the Bengals. CJ Beathard comes in. Now we're hearing that he's been a bit limited at practice, but they are expecting him to play.
He's limited, but he's okay. Yeah.
Because you know where we're going as the Canadian guys here. Are we close to Nathan Rourke possibly getting a look here at some point?
Look, if Trevor Lawrence does not play, and to me it seems like an uphill battle for him to be out there. If he does not play, then your guy is an injury away. So, I don't know what he's going to be. I do know that, the Canadian people that I know are very excited. So we'll see if it ends up being anything. Most likely he will not play, and this will be kind of the end of it. But you never know. And I think if he does play, it'll be kind of fun.
What has it done, this Trevor Lawrence injury in that division right now? Because you've got the Colts who've been rolling. The Texans have been pretty steady all year. Do you view this as pretty much being wide open at this point, depending on the status of Trevor Lawrence?
Yeah, I would say more wide open than I had anticipated. And, had the Jaguars, even with the Lawrence injury, had the Jaguars won, this should be a much different story. Because this would be like, all right, there's several games up. They could afford to lose one. Not a big deal. Trevor Lawrence maybe misses one game, maybe 2, but, not a huge deal. Now they lost, and it's like it's getting tighter. They kind of got to win. They would be in the driver's seat pushing for a potential number 1 seed. Now they got to make sure they make the playoffs. So I think it's important. I think CJ Beathard, if he plays, has to play well. And the Jaguars, really kind of suddenly have basically no margin for error, which is, something I didn't really anticipate.
On the other side, coming out of that game, the Bengals, it's been a very interesting year. Tough start, then they look like they're going, then they lose Joe Burrow. Has Browning, what are people around the league saying about Browning possibly keeping the Bengals in the mix here?
I think he's got a chance. And if they're going to play like they did last week, which is, give him confidence and bunch of completion after completion, and then you go a little longer and a little longer and a little more daring. And I thought it was really, really, really good game plan. I liked what I saw. So to me, if that's what it's going to be, then I would say they're probably going to be okay. They just got to get him to stay within himself and kind of keep doing that. But yeah, seeing what I did last week, now I think, they really have a shot. They really do.
We can't let you go without talking about the Sunday Nighter, the Eagles and the Cowboys. The Cowboys at home, about a field goal favor right now against the 10-2 Philadelphia Eagles, who are looking to bounce back after getting pumped by the Niners at home. What are you expecting from Dallas in this game? They've been rolling offensively for about the last 6 weeks. Is there a chance that the Eagles slow that down, or is this just straight up a shootout?
I'm really curious to see which way this one goes. Eagles defense, I think, has been okay. They lost both coordinators, and I feel like they've spent the whole year trying to get their footing and figure out which way they're going to go. I actually think it's more the Cowboys have more to prove because, even though they beat the Seahawks last week, it still feels like, you know what, maybe people aren't really sure the Cowboys are real. They beat the Eagles. They get into a potential duel for, the number one seed, then that's pretty real to me. So I think the Cowboys have more at stake. I think they, not that they need to win, but a win would mean more for them. But this is, regular season-wise, this is as big as it gets.
As always, Ian, appreciate the time, man. We'll catch you up next week.
All right, look forward to it. Take care, guys.
There you go. That is Ian Rapaport. He's our NFL insider from the NFL Network, the best in the biz. He joins us every single Thursday at 7:45. There have not been many non-Detroit Lions games that I've watched a lot of games, but there haven't been many non-Detroit Lions games that I've been actually really excited to kind of sit down and watch from start to finish. But the Eagles-Cowboys on Sunday night, as much as we mock the garbage game we're going to get tonight, that Sunday Nighter should be an absolute barn burner.
It's like an Argos Bombers, late July tilt or something like that. This is and as a neutral, you just sit back and you say, okay, I've got my snacks, I've got my drink, entertain me.
Yeah.
Entertain me, because I don't think Bucks Falcons, you can go on, and a lot of them don't do it for you, but having that in a prime time slot this late in the season,
the Bills
with
and
everything
Chiefs
on the line,
leading into it, and the late slates,
it's that's good. Yeah. So with all of the games and all of the teams, you usually find a nugget somewhere in there, hey, or two.
There'll be a couple games, and they've got a few on the schedule
Always
here.
how it
that
works. Yeah.
I'm interested to see. You brought up the Bills and Chiefs. Part of me, I know this sounds crazy to say, and I know I have to tread lightly on the lock shop with Huss being a huge Chiefs fan.
Mm-hmm.
But part of me is thinking the Bills win this.
But Huss ain't a drunk fan. He's not like a goggles. He's a realist in a sense, right? He'll be able to call. He can look in the mirror.
But Huss does love the Chiefs.
Yeah, but
he has an excuse for every Chiefs loss of the season.
But I love the Bills, and there's no apologizing for it.
Yeah,
they've done this mess themselves.
The Chiefs' offense is very stagnant. It's just. They don't have weapons. They have Travis Kelce, and that's it.
And the rest.
So it's not like the Bills have a ton of great options either. But I don't know. I don't know what it is. But my gut feeling is just Buffalo's going to win this week.
Well, they have the bye week, as he said. They've done the OC change, which is now growing each and every week. And maybe with the bye week, you've had a little more time to implement things. I don't mind the Bills kind of coming in here all under the radar and in the hunt, shall we say? Pressure's on the Chiefs. They're at home.
What's crazy here is if the Bills actually win this game, they're at 7-6, and the Chiefs are at 8-5. And the Bills have had this disastrous season, and they'd only be a game back of the Kansas City Chiefs.
If the Bills beat the Chiefs, and wait for it, you with me here?
Okay.
The Broncos beat the Chargers.
Okay.
Denver's a game back of.
Denver be right there too.
Oh,
yeah. Wouldn't that be something?
And the Broncos will beat the Chargers, right? I know the Chargers are right behind them, but right now trending. The Chargers are hot.
The Chiefs are going to be fine in the end. Yeah, but it is funny, the Bills have been this disaster. The Chiefs right now at home are a 1.5 point favorite. So I don't know. It's just there's something about it. I'm having a vision that the Bills win this weekend.
Yeah, 1-4 on the road. It'd go a long way as well, and kind of picking that up. And but you're right. 2 good games there. That's a good stack.
Hey guys, I'd rather watch 3 hours of Roseanne singing the national anthem instead of the Steelers and Patriots tonight. We're having some fun with this. It's probably how you're going to win text of the day today. Oh, we had a couple strong contenders in the 6 o'clock hour. Some of our other favorite ones. I would rather watch the empty shelves of 6 o'clocker lager than the Steelers and Pats tonight. I'd rather watch wedding videos from my first 2 marriages than the Steelers and Patriots tonight. I'd rather watch a day in the life of Jack Edwards as commentated by Jack Edwards than the Steelers and Patriots tonight.
I'd rather watch that than a lot of the games on this. I mean, that's a appointment tuning.
There are some there's some pretty good ones in here, so you can keep those rolling in. 780-218-9999. We will get to our Thursday Night Football Challenge after we chat with Naylor. He's going to pop by. We'll talk about some CFL news. Obviously, your Edmonton Oilers have won 5 in a row. That conversation will continue coming up here just after 8 o'clock. Everybody's on board, right? Everybody says they're back.
Back.
How could you? How could you not come in today and claim that the Oilers aren't back? I'm sure some people. There's probably some glass half full people.
Well, have you looked at the numbers? Have you cracked open the analytics hood? Maybe there's something you could find in there. I mean, again, we haven't talked about the dry sideline as much.
Hey, Dusty, they were outshot last night.
Yep. Power play, silent.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta think they're back. If not,
when
please,
would they be on
please
this?
Let us know. I mean, if not now, then when? Like,
a Friday night win against the Wild. That's the one that
doesn't change this, right?
No. Now you look at tomorrow night as taking care of business, much like your Lions against the Bears. That could be a tricky one as well, though. Conference to lose.
Filthy from Calgary, I see your text. We might try to fit that one in here, too. That's something else right there. All right, if you want to play Kind of Easy Trivia today, text us right now, 780-218-9999, 780-218-9999 to play Kind of Easy Trivia today. Just let Maddie know that you would like to play. Get your hands on a gift certificate from Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual, the casualest place ever. 780-218-9999. Text Maddie and let him know you'd like to play today. We got a sports update coming up here for United Sport and Cycle, where I just want to pass this along about United Sport and Cycle. Following their social media accounts, like on Instagram and stuff, they look like they have so much fun at United Sport and Cycle. They always got something fun on the go down there. Kelly and the crew are always having a good time. Why would you not want to shop at a place where the workers are having fun?
Well, the multi-levels, it's like
a
gymnasium.
It makes it fun to shop. And they don't charge you for carts over there.
Yeah.
That's like Corey from Acme said, we don't even have carts.
They pay you to take the cart.
Yeah. You got to carry out your sides of beef on your shoulder at Acme Meats. All right, let's get into it. Sports update for United Sport and Cycle.
Edmonton Oilers heating up.
Heating up.
4 first-period goals on way to a 6-1 win over the Hurricanes, starting a 6-game homestand. Zach Hyman with the hat trick. Stuart Skinner stopping 39 of 40 shots faced. The Oilers look to make it 6 straight wins tomorrow night when they welcome in the Wild. The Wild are in Vancouver tonight in one of 13 games around the NHL. Week 14 in the National Football League kicking off tonight from Pittsburgh. It's the Steelers and Patriots. You can join me for this one at the Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. $9.99 smoked brisket cheesesteak on special, as well as a free squareboard with prizes on the line. NBA action last night saw the Heat bounce the Raptors 112-103. Semifinals of the in-season tournament tip off this afternoon and this evening. Bucks host the Pacers at 3, while at 7 it's the Lakers entertaining the Pelicans. Sports update for United Sport and Cycle, a 4th-generation family-owned and operated business in the heart of Old Strathcona. United's been supporting hockey in our community for over 95 years.
The Nielson Show featuring Lieutenant Eric. Only on Edmonton Sports Talk.
Well, we're going to get into it. We had to play a little country on the show today because Rick and I are heading back inside the barn today to drop our second final episode of the season for the Achy Breaky podcast, and we're finally doing it. We're getting to Alan Jackson's Chattahoochee today.
You've been waiting for it.
I've been waiting for it because I am going to tear this song apart. Most overrated country song of all time.
Well,
not to mention that we have discovered it's absolutely filthy.
Yeah, if you didn't know.
Wait until we drop this episode today of the Achy Breaky podcast, man. Like, it's unbelievable how filthy this is.
I knew that there was always like double entendres and tie-ins to, country music. There's always that wink and the nudge towards something. But this song is like, I mean, you could have your hardcore raps.
Yeah.
That stuff is pedestrian compared to this. The whole song is Urban Dictionary. Like, it's all Urban Dictionary. It's all innuendos. It's all about sex. Sex.
And we're going to lay that out there. Do we have anybody to play, Matty? Is anybody tracking somebody down right now or no? 780-218-9999. Text us right now. We might be getting lost. There's a lot of text messages rolling in here about things you'd rather watch tonight than the Patriots and Steelers. But if you want to play kind of easy trivia, 780-218-9999. Matty's lining somebody up right now. We got that gift certificate to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual. But yeah, new episode. Probably be up. We're going to do it in between our show and Lock Shop. You'll have it up. It'll be up early afternoon. And we're going to tweet the hell out of this one because you got it. We got it. Chattahoochee it's a farce. It's a farce.
It's something.
It's a farce. And there's way too much water skiing in it when he doesn't even mention water skiing in the lyrics. Learned how to swim. That was it.
And I did look up all the burger joints along the Chattahoochee River.
You did. And you're like, there's not any. Well, what's he talking about? Eating a burger and a grape snow cone. Are you kidding me, Alan Jackson?
A few brothels, perhaps.
Holy smokes. Anyway, we'll get into that. This text comes in and says, I'd rather watch an hour-long special on how the Leafs almost traded for Zadorov than the Steelers and Patriots
There we
tonight.
go. Ding, ding.
That's in from Colt 45 today, which I thought was absolutely amazing. So keep those rolling in. I'd rather watch blank than this football game tonight. All right, Matty, who do we have, buddy?
DJ is going to play today. Needs to get 3 out of 5 correct to get his hands on the gift certificate to Mr. Mike's Steakhouse Casual, the casualest place ever, in the Hampton Inn on the corner of 137th Ave and Mark Messier Trail. Sirloin bites. You cannot go wrong. They've got some like a chicken appy too that people absolutely love.
That's what I've been hearing.
I've been seeing this buzz. We got to try this. We got to order it in here for the boys. And
what's that all about here?
Yeah, we'll get into that as well. Brand new location out in Fort Sask.
A contender emerges.
Well. Yeah,
the sirloin bites.
I just don't know how there could be an appy there, a shareable that would be better than the sirloin bites. You know, that's a tough follow there. All right, let's go to DJ today to play kind of easy trivia. Needs to get 3 out of 5 correct. We got 3 questions too many coming up. If you have any questions for 3 questions too many, nasty chat them or in the Paris Jewelers inbox as well. Here we go. Let's go to DJ this morning. DJ, you ready to go, man?
Let's do it.
All right, I'll start the ticker after read the first question. Good luck. Here we go. Who scored a hat trick for the Oilers last night?
Zach Hyman.
How many goals did Stuart Skinner allow?
1.
What position does Brent Burns play?
Defense.
Which city is home to the NFL Steelers?
Pittsburgh.
Who is the head coach of the New England Patriots?
Still Bill Belichick.
Boom.
Still Bill.
Still Belichick.
No! Oh my God. Damn it, Shake, stop it!
They are going to remember that AM radio is a viable and modern source for news and entertainment. Totally. People don't listen to AM like they used to. Seems like it's more about FM and color TV. That's stupid. It sure is, Kevin.
I'm stoked. You stoked? I'm stoked. Just
I'm stoked.
stoked.
You cannot come to my house. No, not today.
Cannot come to my house. No, not today.
All right, Clubby Loop provided by DJ. He is going to Mr. Mike's. I love seeing the people coming by, picking up their gift certificates, picking up their Nasty Club. We got Maddie has organized everything. Yeah, how many packages did you ship yesterday to Nasty Club members?
27 yesterday. I've got 3 to go today for the American listeners.
And then we still have, what do we got, like 6 dozen bags left here too?
There's a couple people that haven't responded whether they're going to be doing shipping or pickup.
Oh, you got to get back to Maddie.
Or just go in the Nasty Club and make your selection. And then there's a couple of new subscribers that I got to reach to, but their packs won't be available until we get our next order come in, which should be in the next couple of weeks.
Okay.
All thanks to our wonderful merch partner, the Hive Product Marketing. Products that bring the buzz. HiveProductMarketing.com.
Oh, careful. Stung. Oh, wow. Hive must be here with great promotional products. But yeah, no, we'll go visit them online, the HiveProductMarketing.com. You'll like the work that they do. Is that when like our stuff comes in, Maddie? Like the stuff that we ordered, or?
Yeah. It's the store orders were all supposed to come in for about December 15th or
I've
just
seen
before.
you wearing that dark
then,
hoodie, and I'm like, God, I've got to
and then they get shipped out to everyone. We'll also have certain things for the Nasty Club and your stuff coming directly here.
Okay.
So hopefully that will come within the next week and a half type thing.
DJ says he's going to come in sipping coffee from his mug. I got the
a
mug. My
power
mug's sitting
move.
right over there. That's gonna be my new milk mug when I make peanut butter and jam toast after the show.
Oh, there you go.
I can have a little milk mug there.
Nice little eggnog would fit well in there too. A little eggnog drink, a little nog.
Yeah, sure. That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna start drinking eggnog.
Oh, you got a little spiced rum around here.
Gross.
Got to bring in the nog, hey?
You don't like eggnog?
Bring in a
I
couple
don't
liters,
like
Maddie.
eggnog. And my wife.
I ran out of the Christmas spirit.
You did you?
Yeah,
You
mine.
drank that whole bottle
'cause I
already?
didn't have
It wasn't
too
a
much.
full bottle. I brought in.
We're gonna have to have a talk with
I
HR
think
Daddy
so.
here, Maddie.
It wasn't a
I
full
only had like
bottle
a
I
sip.
brought in.
I only had a sip.
That's
He doesn't
exactly
drink it.
what a guy would say who drank a full bottle at work.
I had it for
it
the whole.
wasn't a full bottle.
I had it like for the whole year.
Oh, okay. Well,
So it's like probably a half bottle.
okay.
Matt takes drinks out of his own bottle and puts water in it to trick himself.
Yeah, it's still
it's
lots
not
there.
that
There's still lots there. All right. Text us anytime, 780-218-9999. I don't know. We put up the Christmas tree on Sunday, and we were going to watch the Grinch, and we wanted to do a Cheers, and Tammy and the kids all had eggnog.
Oh, okay, yeah.
And I had a spiced rum and Diet Coke for my Cheers. I don't. Eggnog just grosses me
Put the
out, man.
spiced rum in the eggnog.
Well, I know
There you go.
that's what Tammy did.
Yeah, you're talking drinking it straight up, just
Just
as an enjoyable
Maybe
milk.
a little sprinkle of cinnamon on top.
That's what she did.
Yeah.
Yeah, she put spiced rum. It's a drink that her dad, rest in peace, he passed away a couple years ago. It's a drink, and we were drinking out of his mugs. It's like a Christmas tradition, and that's her dad's drink. So she mixed her dad's drink, and he used to always drink that. Eggnog. I don't know. It creeps me out. Like, what is eggnog?
You put a little booze in it. And
What makes eggnog though? Like what?
It's
What
the
are the
nog of an egg.
Well,
You take an
that's
egg
what I
and-
mean. Like, what is eggnog? Why would I want to get into that? You know, like, I don't know. So I'm hesitant.
It could
on
be
the
also be
eggnog.
historically known as milk punch or egg milk punch. Maybe if you started calling it milk punch, you'd be more. Sounds nice, eh?
Yeah, I guess.
Milk, cream, sugar, egg yolks, and whipped egg whites.
So it's just so you could
It's
use
milk and eggs.
eggnog to make French toast.
It's a creamer. Yeah, I guess so. It's like a French toast dipper.
Yeah.
drink.
Scrambled eggs. You could do scrambled eggs with eggnog,
Yeah.
right? If those are the
could.
ingredients, I think you probably could do that.
It's like a carbonara. Put a little bacon on top of your eggnog.
All right, let's get into three questions too many for Park Mazda. Lieutenant Eric, do you have a liner for the segment today?
3 questions too many. It's brought to you by the great staff at Park Mazda, where Mitch requires employees to drink 2 liters of eggnog per day during the entire month of December. Park Mazda, your dealer for life. 2 liters each day. He knows.
Oh, that's a lot of eggnog.
It's a
isn't
lot,
it?
yeah, but it's good. It makes your bones strong. A lot of protein.
Yeah.
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 You
Just
like
drink
milk? You're a milk
Drink
drinker.
milk.
Why are you so against eggnog when you're drinking half and half cream every second day?
Well, if everybody loves eggnog so much, why don't you drink it year round?
Some people do.
Nobody drinks eggnog year round.
It's sold.
It's
the
like-
option is there, right?
Like, I think you could find it if you look. It's just not as easy. There's probably some places, but it's like it's a seasonal thing. Like,
Yeah.
you eat pumpkin pie in the fall. Not a lot of people are pulling it out in
a
June.
Good pumpkin pie comparison.
You know,
yeah.
like so it's
I
just
also don't like that.
It's a Christmas thing that it's associated with Christmas. You're not going to pull it out for like Easter. I don't know. It's just not connected to that.
Yeah, I don't know. I just feel like if it was delicious, people would be cracking eggs and putting it into milk all year. You know, like
Well, some of those gym rats do it. Brandy is the most traditional alcohol to pair with eggnog. So maybe a snifter of brandy in your.
I don't know if
in
I've
your
ever
milk,
had brandy in my entire
milk
life.
punch. Brandy and milk punch. There you go. That's a Christmas
What's
recipe.
the comparable for brandy? What's that? Like, is it like a
cognac? You can have dark rum, cognac, brandy, that type of thing. Like your.
All right. Still not going to do it.
Just to put some alcohol in it. You know, nobody's asking you to drink it straight up.
Rob is in it, says, no, I did scrambled eggs with eggnog yesterday. Not good. And I love eggnog. So, interesting. Kind of changes my philosophy on it a little bit. What time is it here? Dave Naylor is going to join us in about 15 minutes. Question, or you have a Twitter account, Eric?
Yeah, it's at Lieutenant _Eric. You can follow on Twitter.
All right, excellent. Give him a follow. And follow us at Yag Sports Talk. Is that what we're doing here?
Yeah. What time is it?
Well, no, I just wanted to know how much time we have
the way you
before
said it was so
before we had to
casual.
get to Naylor. I was just,
Yeah,
this
dude.
is the new show, man. Like we're just sitting around talking
Where
sports,
am I?
having
Yeah.
some fun.
Mulled cider. Yeah, that was a thing. Mulled. Remember we had the Christmas draft of years past. You were talking about mulled wines. And you ever had a tomato aspic? Google tomato aspic.
I don't even want
right
to look at
now.
it. It's gonna make me puke, isn't it?
Yes.
Let me see. Tomato. What do we call
Tomato
it?
aspic. ASPIC. I just wanted the reaction. We can move on.
What the hell is this?
Yeah.
It looks like a creature at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah. EM Utility Locating finds things like that under your.
Oh my God.
Kind of like a Jello mold, but a tomato.
If there's one thing the world needs more of, it's tomato Jello molds.
Aspic.
Oh my God. I feel like that probably went extinct like 10 years ago. Nobody's making nobody's making tomato aspics, right?
My father-in-law's girlfriend brings them all the time now. And I stare amazingly at it, but also disgustingly at it at the
so
table.
like she makes it?
Oh, she makes it.
Is it like her famous tomato aspic?
Famous tomato aspic. And people dive in. Some people pick around
What do
it.
you do with it? A spoon?
well-
You dip crackers in it? Like, what do you do with a tomato aspic? Like,
Goes
I'll tell
down
you what
good
I do
with
with it. I throw it right in the garbage. That's what I do with it.
You can put anything in there, as you can tell, right? Like you
Man.
can hide a bunch of treats inside.
That's crazy. Guys, I love how the strangest things get said. Scrambled eggnog. And a listener tried that yesterday. This platform is the best. It is the best, isn't it? It's a lot of fun. All right. Question number 1. Do you guys find a game on the homestand for Calvin Pickard? I mean, if you feel like Pickard can play in the National Hockey League, do you give him the Hawks? You're not going away from Skinner after how he played last night, so he's definitely getting Minnesota. But do you give? I mean, I don't think it's necessary.
Yeah,
right. This is
you don't have to
this
pick
is
one.
not
You can pick none if you
U9,
want,
and
yeah.
everybody gets to play. You could play Skinner every second day for the next 5 more games.
And then what happens when you get into the playoffs? You've ran him out just like you did last year. You do have to give him rest.
Rest be damned when you're trying to get back in the mix here.
Every 2 days, he has to go play, and you have to give
That's
him
not
some
too
time
bad.
off.
So you think they have to find a spot for
You
Pickard?
absolutely have to find a spot. Or it's Jack Campbell.
I'm
Or it's
not-
Jack Campbell.
I'm not going to be maybe after the homestand it's Jack Campbell.
For that Chicago game, it's got to be either Pickard or Campbell.
Future Nielsen Show regular Bob Stauffer, I think, was saying something about maybe you see Campbell after the homestand. At least that's what I saw pop up in the chat last night.
Campbell, Long Island, December 19th.
No. So Pickard against Chicago?
Sure.
It should be the easiest of the 6 games. I know Connor Bedard's
Bedard
scary and
lights him
stuff,
up,
but like the others should be able to handedly take care of the Chicago Blackhawks.
I'm for it. I would say 1. I know you don't have to, but to Matt, I want to point. This is a.
What say you, everybody?
It's not the end of the season, but
You're going to have to
You're gonna
get
have to give him a little
a
bit of-
backup in twice the rest of this month. Because there is the back-to-back
There's
in
a
the New Yorks.
back-to-back, and then
So there's the one there, but the other is you do need, like, he had 5 days off, so he could play the rest of this week. There's no problem. But you got to, if you want to,
I think
if
they
you
might
want to
wait
be a,
till the back-to-back.
but if you want to be a playoff team and you think you're going to be a playoff team, you can't run Skinner dry out this year. You can't run him that much in the regular season, or you're going to pay for this come playoff time. Because then we're going to sit there in the playoffs and go, oh man, Skinner's all tired. Oh, they shouldn't have used him as much. Because at this point of the season, you're saying, well, you got to give him Chicago.
No, think about this. They just had 5 days off. So him playing every single game of this homestand would essentially be 6 games in 17 days. He can handle 6 games in 17 days.
But your body doesn't it doesn't work that way. Now you're playing every second day. Your body's just now used to playing every second day, and you probably need to give him another break somewhere in that stretch. You're not giving him the games after. You're not taking Skinner out for Florida. You're not taking Skinner out for Tampa. You need Skinner for the Devils. What, the Oilers can't win against the Blackhawks without Stuart Skinner in that?
You should be able to.
Well, there's your point.
But if they don't start him and they lose, everybody's gonna be like, well, you should have just played Skinner the whole homestand.
Well, the flip side, too, is it depends also on how everything else goes, but you're going to have losses at some points. They're not going to go undefeated the rest of this season either.
Are you sure? How dare you
Matt.
say that? They've won 5 in a row. Come on. You are such a glass half empty guy. This text is in. It says, I think this is about Mixon and Pickard. How about no? Play the clip. That comes from Stu All Day Jason.
But that's where I would actually play Jack Campbell. Because if you do lose...
Which one? In the back-to-back?
The Chicago.
You're going to call up Jack Campbell and give him the...
I love it.
You're nuts.
I love it.
You're high.
Because ultimately, if you then lose that game, you're done with him. You are now officially...
That's the test.
You want to see if he could play in this NHL. Like, it doesn't solve everything if he gets the win. But if he comes up and he loses that one, you now know you're done with him. He's not an Edmonton Oiler ever again.
Where's the mitt? Get this guy the mitt. Get him the Scalding Hot Takes mitt here. This is good stuff.
Because I guess the other, like, in all of this, too, is if you need Pickard in other games, does he not need to play it at some point, too? Like, are you not giving up one of those New York games if he hasn't played in how many weeks?
Yeah, you're leaving it very thin there.
Whatever. I mean, you're not going to play Skinner back-to-back if you play 6 in a row.
So you're going to give up one of those because you've got to go to the backup anyways, but he hasn't played since how long?
Or you just play sound defensively as a team, and he faces 24 shots, he stops 22 of them, and you win 3-2.
Then do it against Chicago and do it twice, and you're giving Skinner some rest.
Let's see here. Megabird says, I'm not worried about riding Skinner this year, but remember what happened to Talbot after we rode him for 73 games. He was nowhere near the same. Mike says, this is in from Mike Smith. Is it that Mike Smith? No. Backups need to play every 5 to 6 games.
Not going undefeated. That's a hell of a thing.
Yeah. Matt, all of the AM nasties when Iwanek just claimed that the Oilers aren't going to go undefeated for the rest of the season.
That is a hell of a thing for you to say to me.
Duck Dad says, I couldn't disagree more with Maddie. The Oilers can go undefeated the rest of the season.
And G says, I agree with Maddie. Spicy boy, Mr. Lean from Dr. Gonzo.
All right, question number 2. Guys, after watching Luka last night, it got me thinking, who is the most unassuming star in North American professional sports? And just to clarify on Luka, he had 29, 10, and 10 at the half yesterday. First player in the history of the NBA to have a 25-plus point triple-double in the first half. But you look at him and you're like, you're not one of the best athletes in North America. So I think that's what this guy means with this question. Who's the most unassuming star in North American professional sports?
Unassuming.
Like flies under the radar maybe a little bit, doesn't look the part maybe. Like, who would that be?
Well, Luka,
I mean, it's kind of
looking
Luka.
the part. Yeah,
Is it not
look
Luka?
at the
Is
part.
Luka not the most? I don't know. I don't know
that's
who
the
my
answer.
answer would be outside of Luka. Like Doncic, I think if you see Doncic like sitting around at a pub, you wouldn't look around the room if he was sitting down and be like, oh, that guy's an NBA superstar. He's one of the best players in the whole bloody league.
Gardner Minshew. Colts are 7-5 now, man, led by Gardner Minshew.
They won 5 in a row.
They won 5. I mean,
Minshew
I don't know.
mania.
Maybe that's we keep denying it. He keeps going to different teams, and we're like, no, but I don't know.
Depending how you define this, Mike Trout.
Yeah, Trout totally flies on the radar, but we still kind of view him as maybe the best baseball player.
Yeah.
Just on a bad team.
But, his basically playing on a team that's been irrelevant for 10 years kind of would help that. Danny Moss says Zach Hyman. D-Man says, is Brown still free-loafing? Wasn't it freeloading?
Freeloading. Yeah, it must be.
Yeah, we say,
I hope it's not a typo. Maybe that's a new
I
lingo.
really hope I haven't been saying freeloading my whole life and it's actually free-loafing. 780-218-9999. This is an interesting question. Who's the most unassuming star in North American sports?
Brock Purdy? You go from being Mr. Irrelevant to now leading a team and playing, I mean, it's not like he's part of it, yes, but he is playing pretty good. I don't know.
Steve says Phil Kessel. Kessel during his prime would maybe have kind of fit that bill.
Any hockey player really maybe doesn't get the headlines they deserve in the North American sporting landscape, right? No, I don't know.
I think hockey kind of gets what it deserves. I mean, I don't know. 780-218-9999.
Russell Wilson when he was good. Still is. You seen the Broncos, baby?
I don't think I put Russell Wilson
Let's
in
ride.
that category either. Anyway, keep them rolling at 780-218-9999. And question number 3. Hey, guys, are we going to get the old commissioner's thoughts on the upcoming Christmas draft?
Please just say how lewd.
Once again, somebody referred to you as a disgraced commish.
Yeah, I don't know why you guys keep bringing me into these things. Like, focus on your new commish. Why do you guys
our
keep
new commish is great. She's coming in.
Yeah,
She's
but
gonna be here
everyone,
right
you
away.
keep trying to bring me back in or something.
It's a
You keep-
question.
It's what people are saying.
Like,
Well, it's-
what do you think
I
of the
don't feel you're
Christmas
disgraced.
I have no
I
thoughts.
wanted you back 100%.
I have no
But
thoughts.
as the host of it,
As
you're
a
gonna have to have
host,
some
I need to just ask the questions and not give opinions. I'm not a columnist. I'm not a panelist. I'm the host.
Wait, are you a scribe?
I'm a host.
Call yourself a
I'm
scribe.
just moving things around, doing the pre-show, getting the thoughts of all you guys. That's it. I don't need to.
But you got to have some thoughts because you got to come up with questions.
I just have to ask the questions.
Christmas movie character draft.
I just have to ask questions, very generic questions.
Do you think? Of
And
any-
then I don't need to actually give any opinion, and then I'll pass things over to you guys in the commish, and then maybe I come in for the post-show to post-draft to ask how you guys thought it went. But I don't. It's not. I'm not there for an opinion.
You're not sitting around being like, "Oh, I wonder if the guys wanted to do this category."
I wouldn't mind though a
Anything
blog
like that.
from the disgrace commish, like
a
and
WordPress
a
blog.
time for him to
WordPress.
my thoughts on the
a rogue WordPress blog.
I won't even be watching it. It's. I have no interest.
You'd rather be watching the Steelers Patriots than
I
watching
don't know
the
how you're
draft.
going to report on something after the draft.
I'm
if you're
not reporting.
watching it.
I just have to come and ask how you guys felt. How did it go? It's very simple.
You're
hey,
learning
Dusty,
from the
you
questions,
drafted second overall. How did you feel the draft went
Well,
today?
thanks, Matt. It's a great question.
Hey.
I can't believe Tommy took the L's.
Well,
yeah.
You just stole another question of mine. Oh, how badly did Tommy screw up today? It's.
You know what I'm sensing
I could have
here?
I'll just go watch something I'll go watch a Christmas special on TV or something while you guys draft, and then I'll come back.
I'm sensing a guy who's feeling a little left out of the Christmas draft. That's what I'm feeling.
No, I feel actually annoyed that I have to come in for this, and when I could just stay home.
Yeah, you're annoyed.
I just want to stay home. I'm not having to work.
A Baconator says, Quinn is actually pretty good at just asking questions too.
I'm down with that. I'm down for
As the
that.
host of the Hangout,
Yeah,
we have to have Matt be on the Hangout.
As CEO, you could give me the day off.
As CEO, I'm making you host the draft on the
Okay.
Hangout
Well.
because I think it's going to lead to just amazing content. December 20th, Christmas movie character draft, 9 o'clock. Commish Quinn, long live the Quinn. She will be overseeing the festivities. Matthew Awanek will be hosting pre and post. Tommy Gazzola will be blowing an early draft pick and opening the draft up to a 3-man race between myself, Glue Guy, and Lieutenant Eric.
I'll watch the Mr. Bean Christmas special.
Yes, Merry
That's
Christmas,
what
Mr.
I'll
Bean.
watch.
Yeah. Half an hour.
Yeah, and then I'll have to
Watch
figure
it
out
4
another
times.
half hour.
4 times. Just watch it.
Well, it's an hour. That's it.
There was a half.
Well, but there's the pre and the post, right?
Surveyor Brett
Gotta
is
plan for that.
sensing some saltiness from you, Commish.
Yeah, because I have to come in and host.
But it's work,
I know.
right? It's a work day.
You'd
I
rather
know.
be in the 24th floor.
That's the
Fellatio,
problem.
condo.
25th.
24. Yeah.
25th. I was going to go in the hot tub and just relax in the hot tub and stuff, but
Look at this.
Yeah.
The Commish chimes in. What kind of effort do you expect from his hosting? This could be a mistake. You know what? That's a
Question
good,
asked.
honest conversation we can have with the Commish.
you will get the bare minimum from me that day. Like adequate enough. Like it will happen. That's what you will get from me.
Oilers goaltending.
I'm not coming and sitting here and saying that you're going to get the James Duthie style hosting.
You should always, here in our offices, be the best you can be. What's it say by the door over there?
Handwritten.
What's it say over there?
Cursive.
What's the saying again?
That's
What
cool.
does it say?
Be the best,
Be the best
you can be.
be. That's what we have to do.
That's cool.
That's cool.
Duck Dad says, "Here, here." Hey, Rick. Solidarity.
Solidarity. Yeah. Yeah, that's it.
Christmas draft should be a fun one though. I plan on drinking a lot during the draft. It should be a fun day.
2 shrimp rings.
Shrimp rings. We should bring in a tomato aspic or whatever it is.
I'm sure Glue Guy Jay is probably already making one. What do you think he's going to be bringing in for that? I mean, he is the
bring
giver
in
of
that
gifts.
stupid
He's going to be
tomato
bringing in a
dish.
turkey. I can see him bringing a fully cooked turkey for us on the 20th.
Now that would be awesome.
I'll go down on an aspic with you during the draft if you want.
No,
I'm
you
game.
can't. We can't be having a bunch of. It's tough to eat while you want to focus on a draft.
Yeah.
Right. You got to focus on the draft.
Maybe that's how you win though. You bring in the food. You get
I got to focus on eating that day. That's great.
And we'll have some festivities and stuff. It'll be fun.
Games.
Yeah.
Oh, my mom and dad want to bring in some like stuffed shells, like a pasta thing. Maybe that day I'll get them to bring that.
Yeah.
Was it like a tortellini?
It's just shells is stuffed with the yeah.
Well, what's stuffed in there? Cheese?
Yeah, kind of.
Meat? Tomato?
No meat.
Just cheese.
Yeah, it's sort of like that.
I like that.
What about a Christmas cracker we get all pulled?
Oh,
would that
we
be all
should
right?
do Christmas
we can do
crackers
that,
to
eh?
start
Why
the
not?
draft.
Yeah.
And then wear those little hats. Yes. Yes. Okay, I'm put it on the list. We'll buy some of those Christmas crackers and we can all draft in those hats that almost tear immediately when you put them on the head.
Such weak fabric.
Yeah. Smitty the welder says Maddie is so salty.
I'm not.
Well,
like I just love how all you guys think I am. I'm not. I'm the one who resigned. Like that's what I don't understand about all you. Like
I want you back.
100%
walked
fully
away.
accept your resignation. So
you've hired someone else. Of course you have.
Well, but you're secondary commission now. You're just
no. There's
you're just
no
secondary commission.
You're secondary commission.
That's a title.
You're backup commission.
I'm just gonna bring a bunch of eggnog.
Oh, that's gross. All right. So anyway, Quinn's going to be in today on the most awkward hangout of all time.
Not going to be awkward at all.
Maddie's there with Quinn, who stole his job. Like unbelievable.
Through gritted teeth.
Do we have Naylor? Is Naylor connected? Is he he's kicking around?
Well, did I sent it to his Bell Media email?
I think so. I mean,
okay. I sent it to him, and I don't. He hasn't.
Let me just. I'll fire. Well, you know what? Let's do an
Naylor's
update.
a wild guy. Hey, he's.
Well, let me just fire him a
Never
text.
know where
Here,
he is.
Naylor. We got lots to talk
I've
about.
Sent it to him.
I'll see if
The nail gun.
I'll say you get the link, and we'll see what he says. I did tell him 10:30 Eastern. That's 8:30 now, right? So
yes.
Anyway, if anybody's got any ideas on this Christmas draft, and if we should have any categories, like we've been talking about it a little bit. We got the group text.
It can't
going.
just be straight up.
No,
there's
we'll
got to be some sort of a.
We'll have to have some categories for sure.
Like so many males, so many females,
so many
a
females,
child,
so
an
many
old
males,
person,
probably
a
like
senior
2 or
citizen.
3 children,
Yeah.
a Santa.
Oh yeah.
What do you come out on like somebody who would be viewed as Christmas hero, like a hero from a Christmas movie.
Yeah, I think most movies around that there's the protagonist.
There's
I think
usually
somebody
some
saving Christmas,
sort of hero, right?
Yeah, maybe you could do like an elf
character from Ernest Saves Christmas,
a number one elf, like the sidekick. There's always the Santa, but then there's always that elf. Like
there's a bunch of elves that we could certainly mix in. So there's lots of ways we can go with this. But if you have any suggested categories for us,
maybe an animation, an animated, cartoony, maybe one character or something like that.
You know what? You are coming with some really good ideas. Here.
Let's go.
Some really good ideas. Keep
it's
these.
Nice though, because usually we do it a week out, right? We now have like a good week and maybe a half until this draft. Like there's going to be a lot of planning, a lot of
2 weeks
back
yesterday.
and forth. He said, she said type of thing. I mean, we're already seeing with the disgraced commish. The storylines popping out of this one leading to the Christmas break are going to be fantastic, as is the Christmas drafts. That's the tradition.
Naylor has to download the app on his phone. He's going to be on his phone today. So he's just downloading the app, and then he'll join us. We're going to talk some CFL. Hey, guys, does Matt go first overall as the Grinch? Maddie, if I got you a Grinch costume, would you wear it to host the Christmas draft?
I'd have to see pictures.
Well, it's not going to be like a sexy Grinch costume. It's just going to be like
I didn't think it'd be
that's just a regular Grinch costume.
What?
Can it be?
I need pictures.
I'll get you pictures. There's got to be, there's got to be a Grinch costume at like Party City or something. To make that work, I think. Dave Naylor is going to be by here right away. I do want to revisit this quickly because it's such an awesome deal.
Yeah.
Over at Pro-Am. One more time. This is just for the nasties. They're not advertising it anywhere else. They're not even advertising it in store. Like there's going to be a rando who's in Pro-Am just looking at stuff. And somebody's going to come in and go, Jack, I'm here for the AM Nasty Hat Trick Special. And this guy's going to be like, what the hell is that? Right?
Through the beaded curtain, follow me.
Today and tomorrow. Yeah, it kind of sounds like something you get across the street at Seductions.
Put this hard hat on and this cape and follow me.
Today and tomorrow at Pro-Am in store on the corner of St. Albert Trail, 128th Ave. If you go into Pro-Am and say, I'm here for the EST hat trick, you will get 40% off Oilers headwear. Naylor says he's waiting to join right now. You don't see it? Maybe send him a new link. Maddie's going to connect with Dave Naylor. You got Naylor's number? Fire him a text. Let him know. I want to talk about Rourke. I want to talk about the other Rourke. Curtis Rourke enters the transfer
Vanderbilt,
portal.
Brigham Young, Wake
Now,
Forest.
I saw you tweet this out. Is this an actual shortlist, or did you just make those up?
He was tweeting out schools.
What do you mean?
Being like, it's an honor to be blah, 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 courted by Wake Forest. And then, like, 3 hours later, it's an honor to be courted by Brigham Young. And then it's an honor to be so, who knows?
wow.
I don't know. I'm sure there's some other schools might pop up here or there, but.
And he's got 1 year left of eligibility.
Yeah.
Right? So he goes to one more place, maybe takes a run at
goes off.
NFL after that, and then we'll see where he ends up as a possible CFL quarterback at some point, too. But yeah, go in and take advantage of that deal at Pro-Am Sports. 40% off Oilers headwear today and tomorrow, basically just for Edmonton Sports Talk supporters, the EST Nasties. Slide on in there, tell them you're there for the hat trick special, and they will get you 40% off Oilers headwear. And, either cheer yourself up, treat yourself, or get your Christmas shopping done at Pro-Am Sports.
I know what I'm doing during the draft. I'll go downstairs for a massage.
Please do that.
Get
I
a
would
nice-
totally, yes.
Get like a nice 60-minute massage and come up and
Yes.
host
And
the
every
post.
2 rounds, we go down to you for a live update.
Yeah, it's going to be really weird getting a massage in a Grinch outfit.
A sexy Grinch outfit. That
A
is.
sexy Grinch
Don't
outfit.
get yourself. Hockey special, please.
Daddy says, Dusty deciding all the rules for draft that favor his picks after replacing the commissioner feels a lot like Vladimir Putin playing hockey. I'm not deciding anything. We're discussing it as a group. If Eric's got suggestions, we'll take those and put them in.
Yeah,
We'll
yeah.
discuss it with Milne. We'll discuss it with Tommy.
Steak by Trevor says,
discuss it with Quinn.
Matt is now the president of Draft Ops, the POTO.
He's
Maybe an
the
elevation,
Poto.
a demotion, however you want to call
The president of Draft Ops. I like that one as well. Best Hallmark movie character. Man, I don't know anything about the Hallmark
it.
Christmas
Maybe the
movie,
draft
right?
is won or lost with that category.
Yeah.
Hey? I know Jay Milne would probably all over that, hey? Tom
probably already on his
Tom
list.
Gazzola, first overall from Hallmark movie, yada, yada, yada. And
There's a great text on Matt here. We'll get to it. With D-Rex, we'll get to that a little bit later on. We still have to do our Thursday Night Football Challenge as Lieutenant Eric. Will he have the balls to take the Patriots +6 on the road tonight? Don't know about that, but we're going to get into that. Dave Naylor. He's there. He is. There's Naylor. He joins us right now. Yes. Naylor, thanks for figuring it out, buddy. How you doing?
I'm a technological wonder. I inherited my technological skills from the great Chris Schultz. Who rest in peace, Schultz. We all have stories about trying to text him or email him and the interesting responses we got.
The legend
I'm not
lives
quite as
on,
bad
man.
as him. Oh my goodness,
Yeah,
does it ever?
The
Does it
legend
ever?
lives on. That's that's great. Look, man, we've got lots to get to. I wanted to get you on yesterday. I accidentally double booked it. But the stories continue to pop up around the world of football. So let's start in the Canadian Football League. Then we'll get to the Rourke brothers because we certainly have to touch on that. But let's just start in Hamilton. Ticats obviously making some waves, restructuring the organization. Milanovic becomes head coach. Hervey becomes GM. Orlando kind of going to oversee everything. Was this necessary? And how do you think it works out for the Ticats?
It was interesting during Grey Cup week, Dustin, because on stories of this type, Farhan Lalji and I usually have pretty good sources that if we don't get the details, someone will sort of paint the direction or the picture for us. And We were kind of guessing during Grey Cup week. We didn't have a lot of intel on what the Ticats were going to do. And when I say guessing, we weren't making broad pronouncements. We were kind of going by instinct a little bit and based on what other people in the league's opinions about what was happening. And I'm happy to say we were right because what we kind of pronounced was that, the Ticats were going to do some basically self-examination and that Orlando Steinauer was being given some time to consider what role he wanted to take on or what roles he wanted to take on, and that it was possible Scott Milanovic could end up in the mix because he already had a deal to be the OC in 2024. And, voila, it was mostly from instinct, not from intel. And we usually do things in reverse, but I think the Ticats also made a very concerted effort during Grey Cup week to not make their news dominate the headlines, sort of. So, ultimately, there really isn't a lot of change here. I mean, there's a change of titles, but let's just cut to the chase. The big difference: Orlando Steinauer is not going to be the head coach.
Yeah.
Scott Milanovic is. He's the top football executive here. I mean, I know Ed Hervey's going to have the general manager's title, and he had assistant GM before. They actually didn't have anybody under the name of general manager title before. So you've got Steinauer at the top of the organization. You've got who I think is probably going to be hands-on with, all transactions, the roster construction, dealing with players, dealing with coaches. And then you've got Hervey, who's probably going to be, the scouting side guy, the guy who's doing the advanced scouting, the guy who's looking at possible acquisitions, all those kind of things, and looking at NFL free agents. And he's going to, I think that's probably the way this organization is going to go. Again, Hervey lives year round in Edmonton. Obviously, Steinauer's in Hamilton, so it makes sense that way. But no, not a real shock. I think it was a scenario that we all saw very possibly. And I think, I haven't talked to Orlando Steinauer about this, but it looked like the last 2 years of coaching wore on him a little bit against the expectations of, hey, this team's been knocking on the door forever, including the overtime loss in the Grey Cup in 2021. When are you going to get over the top? And of course, they kind of slid back down the mountain in both seasons.
Dave, moving out west here, and another coaching change in Saskatchewan, the Rough Riders and Corey Mace. Reporting, predicting, guessing, a lot of people doing things around this appointment, Dave. But in the end, the Riders get their guy. Mark Mueller, again, yesterday announced as the OC. Kind of take us through this whole process, time stamping along the way, because it just seems like, it was a 50-50 at one point, then this other guy was in the lead, and then the next day it's Mace. And I mean, it seems on the surface like a good fit, but your thoughts on the appointment there in Regina?
It was a very traditional coaching search. And it's funny, when I listened to Jeremy O'Day's, his first chat, probably the day that they let Dickinson go, it was sounding like there might be some, outside of the box ideas. And maybe there were, but certainly, if you would have come up with a short list of who finalists would be for any head coaching vacancy in the CFL, you probably would have come up with Scott Milanovich, Buck Pierce, and Corey Mace. Yep. And those were the three. And I always find it a little bit tricky to get into the dynamics of who pulled out and who got turned away, because nobody wants to publicly have it said that they didn't get the job, and the team doesn't want anybody saying that somebody turned away from the job.
Yeah, and they had to settle for number two.
I listen. The reason I don't want to get into that is I hear both versions on some of this stuff, and so they those were the three finalist candidates, and I think. Milanovich, I think, probably was negotiating in Saskatchewan with the knowledge that he may have had that he had an opportunity. Well, he had an opportunity in Hamilton of some type. He was already signed to be the OC, and I'm told that was not a foregone conclusion. That he did not have the head coaching job in Hamilton in his back pocket as he was in conversation with the Rough Riders. That this all kind of just they let it play out, and when he was available in Hamilton, that was the way the mix shook out. I think Corey Mace, look, he was a finalist last year in Ottawa. The two finalists last year in Ottawa when Bob Dice got the job were Mark Washington and Corey Mace. He's a guy who's still young at 37, highly, highly respected by players, and just a guy who I think has a reputation of a tremendous amount of integrity. And I've known Corey, from his days. I knew him a little bit when he played in the NFL. First time I ever spoke to him when he was a Buffalo Bill. Here's a funny story about Corey Mace. He was the quote unquote Canadian that the Bills trotted out for the media at the Bills in Toronto series, the ever popular Bills in Toronto series. Remember that?
Here's our Canadian guy. Look at him.
Here's our Canadian. And they would push him. He was reserve defensive lineman. Not a star on that team, but like, here he is, folks. Talk to him. He's Canadian, and we're here to play in Canada, an NFL game. So that's kind of the origins of when I first became aware of Corey Mace. He was drafted by Winnipeg when Brandon Tamman was the GM there, and of course he went on a short playing career, injury interrupted, I believe, in Calgary, and then transitioned very well to coaching. But every conversation I ever had with him, he comes across the way he did in that news conference in Saskatchewan. He's a mature guy. He's a measured guy. He's a smart guy. All those kinds of things. And the impact he left in Toronto. And even when I was at Bills camp this summer, I was talking to Shane Ray, the former first-round pick of the Denver Broncos, who got back into the NFL, at least for a training camp after 2 seasons in Toronto. And when I brought up Corey Mace's name, he just gushed. And this is a guy who was a first-round pick in the NFL. So that just tells you another degree of the respect, or another measurement of the respect that Corey Mace has. And I think he will command that. I think the fans in Saskatchewan will love him. And of course, how long they love him will depend on how well they do on the field, as it always does. But I think coming through the door, they got a real winner there.
One more I want to get to, and that's just to pop back over to Winnipeg for a second. Willie Jefferson resigns. They obviously have a ton of free agents there. I know OSHA's talked about a few guys are going to be making a decision on whether they're going to retire or not. How much of that band do you think they're going to keep together with the Bombers?
It's interesting because O'Shea will admit that he is a guy who will stick with guys longer than maybe some people would. Like even I would tell you, I was standing at Grey Cup week during one of the availabilities, and I said, Mike, there's a school of thought in football that you're better to get rid of a guy a year too early than a year too late. And he knew where I was going, and he started shaking his head just before I'd even finished the sentence, right? And he was like, you better be careful with that, because he just really believes in experience. He believes in the power of veteran status, I guess. And look how long Mike O'Shea played in his career. He was that guy, right? Yeah. So it kind of makes sense. And he's been successful going back to the well with guys he trusts. But it's also a GM's job. I mean, basically, coaches think about next week, and GMs have to think about next year a little bit, right? Not to their fault or they're going to get fired, but they always have to have more of an eye to the future, and that's why you always get that yin yang. And I think that's going to be something that, Kyle Walters pretty much talked about in Grey Cup week. That's one of the softs that he and Mike O'Shea have to have when it comes to the roster. Now, the guys who are really intriguing are the guys who are going to get like huge pay jumps. Like, how do you keep Dalton Schoen? That's the one. That's
when you also have Kenny Lawler on a pretty big ticket too, right?
Yeah, I think Dalton Schoen been making probably 80,000, 85,000 the last 2 years, and leading the league in receiving and touchdown. Yeah, that's going up a lot, right? Yeah. And I'm led to believe he's close to Drew Brown. So if Drew Brown goes somewhere, does that come into do you get them as a package? And again, there's another guy they're going to lose who's a backup, but you get into the how long can we continue to pay the guys who are already at the top of the pay scale when you factor in all the guys that are going to need a bump. But I think there's still going to be a pretty healthy dose of the Winnipeg Blue Bombers that we've known since 2019 on the field next year. And of course, it starts with Zach Collaros is not going anywhere. But Brady Oliveira is another one, who is not on a rookie contract, but he's certainly outperformed the contract that he's on. I know he has some aspirations to see if he can play in the National Football League, and I don't think that's impossible. I think it's unlikely, but I don't think it's impossible. So lots of interesting conversations for the Bombers, and they're going to have to take some guys that just decide that, hey, I'd rather be here in a good situation than maybe go somewhere else and try to make a bit more money. And one of the ways they sell this, I think Kyle talked about this a little bit at the Grey Cup, and I know teams have done this, is that if you look at the playoff compensation in the CFL, as a percentage, it is far more significant than, say, the playoff compensation in the NHL or Major League Baseball or any of the other big sports. Guys can be on like a $75,000 contract and make like $25K in playoff money. Like that's 33%.
That's pretty significant.
That's huge. Yeah, that's huge, right? So that as a percentage, that is a bigger factor in the CFL. And so you can say to a guy, hey, we've been first place 4 years in a row in this division. We've been to 4 straight Grey Cups. Here's the playoff money you've taken home over that 4 years. If you were playing in, take your pick, here's what you would have taken home. So I think that's the other pitch that the Bombers will use to try to get some players, at least with the numbers that will be on their contract, maybe more reasonable than people would expect. But guys are anticipating that, by staying here, I'm going to cash a check at the end of the year that I might not cash somewhere else.
Yeah, nice option to use as a strategy for sure. All right, let's head south of the border here with the Jacksonville Jaguars. Trevor Lawrence goes down. We had Ian Rapaport on the show about an hour ago, and he did say, despite being limited in practice, C.J. Beathard is expected to play. But man, they're this close to seeing Nathan Rourke play in meaningful football games. And when he decided to sign in Jacksonville, I was always like, you're never going to play as long as Trevor Lawrence is there. But with Trevor Lawrence being banged up right now, there could be a chance here for Nathan to actually play important minutes for the Jags, isn't there?
Oh, absolutely. And look, let's be clear about it. If the Jacksonville Jaguars could have their way, Trevor Lawrence would take every snap from now till 2039.
Yeah,
that's what it's about there. It's all about Trevor Lawrence. I think a lot of people's eyebrows were raised when he signed in Jacksonville. I mean, a team that had a 23-year-old number 1 overall pick who'd never missed a game. I mean, it looked like I think what happened was he got the most guaranteed money there, which is not just a financial decision; it's also an indication of the commitment from the team.
Yeah,
and I think. I think Nathan Rourke's expectation, if you look at what he said at the time that he signed, was he would get to compete for number 2. By the time they re-signed C.J. Beathard a few weeks later, it was clear number 2 was his. And in fact, I asked Doug Peterson at a post-game news conference in Detroit after Nathan had played his bleep off again and outplayed C.J. Beathard again, is the number 2 job a competition? And he said, no, it's not. I mean, it's not politics if they don't hide it. He just wants a veteran presence as his number 2. And Nathan Rourke is not that yet. C.J. Beathard is. All that said, C.J. Beathard is a guy with a sub 60% completion percentage and 18 touchdown passes in his career and 14 interceptions. He's not impossible to get past.
No.
And I think the intriguing thing for all of us that have followed this story is that if Trevor Lawrence went out for an extended period, how much does what Nathan Rourke did last year in the preseason, and that's basically 5 touchdown drives on 9 legitimate opportunities. There are 3 other drives, where he didn't really have an opportunity to get a touchdown. One was a running back fumble on the first play, and the other 2 ended in victory formation on one knee. So you can't score touchdowns in those situations. It's 9 opportunities to score touchdowns, 5 touchdowns. How much did that matter when you get into a scenario where Trevor Lawrence is out and C.J. Beathard is struggling? And, it's been suggested, and David Sanchez said this on SportsCenter the other night, and I agree with him, is that the one advantage Nathan has is he's a dynamic player and C.J. Beathard is not. He's more likely to make wow plays, make special plays, make plays that not every guy can than C.J. Beathard is, who I think is more of the, probably the game manager type. And you saw that in the preseason. I mean, everybody remembers the play made in Dallas, which is still the weirdest post-game interview I've ever had in my life. Real quick, I like telling the story because it's just so weird. If you bear with me for a second. So I'm in the stadium in Dallas. Nathan Rourke throws the craziest pass, 4 tackles broken, hits a guy in stride in the end zone. Jerry's house explodes. Patrick Mahomes is on Twitter. Adam Schefter is on Twitter. Warren Sapp is on Twitter. The world is on Twitter raving about this kid and this pass he threw down. I go down to the Jaguars locker room. As I'm walking in, I pass Trevor Lawrence coming out. And Trevor Lawrence is being followed by a pack of media who are following him to the podium to hear about his 2 series that he played about 4 hours ago, right? I go to Nathan's locker. He's tying up his shoes, kind of, leaning over, and he looks up at me and he goes, "Hey, Dave." I said, "Hey, Nathan." He said, "Hey, man, good to see a familiar face." I said, "Man, that was a heck of a play." He said, "It's football." It was the weirdest thing. And we're standing, and I'm looking down at Twitter, and Patrick Mahomes is going off about the play, and I'm standing there having a conversation with Nathan Rourke like I ran into him on the sidewalk.
Yeah.
The weirdest thing. Eventually one other media member came along. So anyway, it was one of the strangest.
They were like, "Oh, who's this? Who's this? Oh, this is Nathan Rourke. He's the quarterback who just made that play."
Yeah, he's the guy who just made that play. Yeah, it was, and then moments later, it was on the screen at BC Place and all. Anyway.
Yeah, I was doing the game at BC Place that night when they threw it up on the screen. Everybody was going nuts. It was that was crazy. Quick, one more before we let you go.
Yeah.
Just on his brother enters a transfer portal. Obviously a very, especially with what his brother's done already. CFL teams would look at him as a quarterback and go, "Okay, holy smokes, what does this mean? Like, what's this mean for Curtis Rourke over the next 18 months?"
Well, he's got a decision to make. And look, I talked to Curtis about 6 weeks ago. And I think at that time he was leaning towards this being his final year of college football. I mean, he's played 4 years, technically 5, but it didn't count because he has no stats. It was 1 game he was on a roster in his freshman year. But he gets an extra year because of COVID. And look, a year ago, Curtis Rourke was a hot prospect. He was, I think, if he wanted to go into the transfer portal, I'm sure he could have found a starting spot in a Power 5 program. And then he suffered that ACL injury in late November, missed, their bowl game, missed the MAC championship game. And, he wasn't declared ready for the season until about 48 hours before kickoff in August. And then, he just didn't have the same year. And I only saw him play live once, saw him on television a little more. But talking to scouts, they saw a guy who was really limited in mobility compared to what he used to be and who just didn't have the same kind of push on the ball, that he wasn't. And statistically, he was not the same player. I mean, last year he had 25 touchdowns and 4 interceptions. This year those numbers are 11 and 5. He threw for about 1,000 less yards. His completion percentage dropped by about 6 percentage points. So statistically, he was a very different player. So the question is he best to just kind of try to take his shot at the pros, or is he better to go try to play get fully healthy, maybe get to a Power 5 conference school, and try to to bump up his stock a little bit
get it
more
back to where it
in
was.
college.
Yeah.
The problem would be if he goes somewhere and he doesn't win the number one job and he finishes his college career as a backup, which could happen. Then I'm not sure that's an advantage if you go a year without playing, and you get the opportunity to get healthy, or whether you come out now. So he hasn't made that decision. I saw he's tweeted he's had offers from Vanderbilt, BYU, and Wake Forest.
Yeah, that's right.
I think he's going to make a decision fairly quickly. The intriguing thing, if he does decide to play another year of college football, is it means the CFL teams are going to be drafting him blind. And by that I mean they're going to have to make a decision on what his value is in their draft before he's finished his college career. Yeah. So look, and where does he slot in the NFL radar right now? There's a website called NFL Draft Buzz that ranks players by position kind of weekly, and they have him at 33. Okay, of this class coming out this year, 33. If you look at last year, how many quarterbacks got either drafted or signed as priority free agents out of last year's class and made it? That's guys that made it to training camp out of last year's class. It's 27. So. He's on that bubble,
on the bubble,
right?
On the bubble,
right up on the bubble, and that's why I think this is a hard decision. If he was 20th, it's like, you know what, I'm going to move on and go into an NFL camp and show them what I can do. If he was, 40th, it's like, well, I got to play another year of college football because I'm not even on anybody's radar at all. But he's kind of in that bubble zone, and the injury just clouds everything. And in terms of what his eventual abilities will be, if once he gets fully healthy. So it's career, man. I just wrote a column on this. Be up on tsn.ca any moment. It's just about the Rourke brothers and just kind of the whole idea that there's two games every professional football or college football plays. There's one on the field and there's one called career management, and these guys have had to be experts in both.
Great stuff, man. Good catching up with you. We appreciate the time.
Great reporting, Dave.
Hey, anytime. Thanks so much for having me on, guys.
See you later, man. There you go. That is Dave Naylor, TSN football insider, giving us the latest on the Rourke brothers there, too, as well. It'd be interesting. If he's going back to college, the CFL teams are going to be sitting there going, okay.
Yeah. You mentioned right on the bubble. What do you – I take a flyer on it,
Like if Rourke came out and said, actually, I'm coming out of college and I'm coming to the CFL. It'd be interesting to see where he gets, because I think he's like, I thought he was the number one rated prospect. Yeah. So it'd be interesting to see how it goes. All right, let's get into the wrap for William Huff. If you want your place to look as good as ours, get it done with Bruce and his team at William Huff. They're wrapping Rogers Place. They're wrapping Commonwealth. They're wrapping the EST offices. No big deal. www.williamhuff.com. They've been doing it since 1972, so it's terrific.
They wrap better than Josh Clausen.
Whoa,
isn't that a spicy take? Huh?
Holy smokes, man. That is a spicy take. What'd you learn on the show today?
I learned that you learned what tomato aspic is.
I did.
I just wanted you to Google it. I wanted to see your reaction. We don't need to get into it, but I just wanted to see the look on your face, and it did not disappoint.
I guess I learned that you could kind of skirt around the system with these carts. And you don't technically need a loony. Maddie wants us to try the key, our office key. Now,
it's the backside of it, I think.
So you leave the key in.
Well, yes.
But then what if you forget your key in the cart?
That's also part of it. Like,
damn. I don't know, man.
It's not really skirting a system. It's just
it's exactly skirting.
They want you to leave something in that cart for you to remember to put the cart back so you could get it back. It's not like they want the loony necessarily. It's not like they want the loony necessarily. It's not like they need the loony. What they're doing is they want you to put something in there that you're going to be like, I need this.
Yeah.
So
I also learned what Mr. Lean will look like in the sexy Grinch costume as the Juice sent in a photograph.
Is it over there? Is it just a costume or is it?
I tell you, Matt,
you got to do it. You got to do it. I also learned that a lot of people really like that chat with Naylor. I'm getting texts. We're seeing in the nasty chat, the inbox. It was a good football chat.
He's great.
It was a real nice football chat with Dave Naylor.
And good on the CFL for continuing the news cycle, right?
Yes, just keep it going. We got to get to free agency so we can have our EST WST crossover show on February 13th.
Speaking of which, they had their Christmas party last night.
They
WST,
did.
Somebody chimed in. They said they're watching the Oilers game.
I'm sure it was a
nice.
great time. Little Brown Jug in Winnipeg is where they were at.
Yeah.
All right. We also learned that Pro-Am's hooking you up with a sweet deal today and tomorrow. 40% off AM Nasties, EST Nasties only. Go into Pro-Am. Say you're there for the EST hat trick special. You get 40% off headwear. Today and tomorrow over at Pro-Am. All right, let's get to your sound of the day today. Day number 2 of Lieutenant Eric's 12 days of Christmas. Are you ready to go here?
Yeah.
Let's do it. Here we go.
On the first day of Christmas, EST gave to me a black sedan guy being creepy. On the second day of Christmas, EST gave to me 2 Tombstone Tuesdays and a black sedan guy being creepy. Day 3 tomorrow.
Day 3 tomorrow. That's right. Day 3 tomorrow morning, probably like around, 6:40-ish. We'll get to day 3 of Lieutenant Eric's 12 days of Christmas. All right, text of the day today for A&W, $20 gift card to A&W, where they got 2 Mama Burgers on for $9.99 this month, which is absolutely amazing. All right, here are your contenders for text of the day today. I would rather watch a day in the life of Jack Edwards, as commented by Jack Edwards, than the Steelers or Patriots tonight. I'd rather watch wedding videos for my first 2 marriages than the Steelers and Patriots tonight. I'd rather watch an hour-long special on how the Leafs almost traded for Zadorov than watch the Steelers and Patriots tonight. Or the non-text of that, the general, who texted me this morning and said, boys, I don't know if I need a conch or what. First date last night, casual hangout with no general expectations, sexual or otherwise. First thing she says is, Oilers play tonight. Why don't we watch that? 6-1 victory. I was so hard I almost fainted. We are so effing back.
I'm going with the general because this is an Oilers city. We don't care about the NFL, but the Central Casino pick'em as well. We had the Patriots Steelers, right?
Yes, right.
What is it? It's minus.
It's 6 points.
Yeah, play it.
What we're doing? Oh, this is being sprung on me late. Congratulations, General. You've won text of the day for A&W, and Lieutenant Eric's taking the road dog tonight. My God.
Oh, you didn't know? You better call somebody. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, tonight, D-Generation X proudly brings to you its 6-time WWE Tag Team Champions of the World, the Road Dogg, Jesse James, the Badass Billy Gunn, the New Age Outlaw.
I love when he does that. 3 pick sixes by that Pats defense.
Wouldn't that be something?
That's how it goes. And they get the over.
If you like the Patriots plus the 6 points tonight, text Patriots to 780-218-9999. If you like the Steelers minus the 6, you will text Steelers to 780-218-9999. If you get correct, you go into a draw for a gift certificate from Century Casino Sports Bar and Lounge. I highly suggest you bet the under either way. It's at 30 on the nose over at CoolBet. Unless we move that line this morning. Let's go take a little peek-see here quickly before we wrap up. Hangouts coming up. Lock Shop at 11. 2 guys and a goalie. 2 guys and a goalie. That's why I love the market. 2 guys and a goalie today will be a half hour debating if Pickard should play in the homestand or not. You know, it's the absolute best. The line right now still sitting at 30. Minus 110. Under 30 right now. Hudson and I and Pat from CoolBet will dive into that a little bit later on. Mr. Lean, good having you in today. Sorry about the awkward situation you have with the new, likely better commish coming up on the hangout, but
it's not awkward partly because I booked her.
Yeah, but you're disgraced, right? You're
I
disgraced.
booked her and disgraced according to you guys.
No, not me.
Not me.
The listeners.
Yeah, you guys.
It wasn't us.
For 100%
That's cool.
retention.
And
I
in the
wanted you
end,
back.
as the disgraced commish, quote unquote, you guys still didn't have the guts to get rid of me. I did.
He's a salty boy.
Still haven't accepted the resignation, though, eh?
Hangouts coming up. Don't go anywhere. Keep it locked on. Have autoplay on YouTube. Yeah, it's gonna be a fun hangout today. Lock Shop coming up. 2 guys and a goalie at noon today, right here on Edmonton Sports Talk. No Tommy Gazzola today. No Tommy Gazzola today. That makes me sad. I'd like to see him awkwardly sit there as you and Quinn go back and forth about the commissioning.
There's nothing between Quinn and
So
I.
are you going to provide her with advice and insight?
If she has any questions, absolutely. I'll also be there when you guys try crushing her soul.
Whoa.
I guess there is issues. She has issues with me, apparently. Whatever. But in the end, when you guys crush her soul, I will be there for her.
We're not going to crush her soul. We abided by your ridiculous rules.
The game giveth, the game taketh away.
You have to have a soul for it to be crushed.
Oh, my God. Give her the hot takes, man. That's really good. That's really good. All right. It's over. For Matty Waddick and Lieutenant Eric, I'm Dustin Nielson. Tell your friends about Edmonton Sports Talk. Hangout coming up next. Have a great day. Take it easy.